It's 8:15. There's a classic show business story about the young actor who arrives in the big city with nothing more than confidence and talent, and 2 weeks later becomes a big star. But that's more fairy tale than truth. Mary Lynn Henry is the casting director for daytime television at ABC TV. She says those lucky breaks are hard to come by. It's really hard work and planning that gets beginning actors their jobs. That's the subject of her book, How to Be a Working Actor. Joining us also this morning are two aspiring actors, Christine Calkins and Brad Rasmussen. I can't help but think this is sort of a lucky break for the two of you to be here face-to-face with the casting director this morning.
It can't hurt.
Good morning and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Mary Lynn, I have a statistic here from your book.
Yes.
You say that there are 140,000 professional performers in this country, only about 20% of whom earn more than $2,000 a year acting. How realistic is it to expect beginning actors to earn a living in this business?
Well, I think that it has a lot to do with the preparation of the beginning actor, and we go about that in our book, discussing financial preparation, resume, background, training, and so forth. But the beginning actor should certainly think twice, I think, before coming to a major center like New York or Los Angeles by building the resume and getting as much experience in the local areas as possible.
What are the most common mistakes that a beginning actor or actress makes?
Well, I tend to think that they try to run before they walk. All those wonderful starry-eyed dreams that, you know, the myths, all the myths that keep going on and on and on, and lots of misinformation. And they're just very excited about making it big real fast. And it takes a lot of time, and they've got to pay their dues. And also they seem to diffuse their focus, and they're all over the map with commercials or soaps or theater or film, instead of just concentrating on one thing and really setting up guidelines for themselves.
What about spending money on cosmetic makeovers and plastic surgery?
Well, we go into that in the book, and we discuss packaging. The package is very important. Talent is lovely, but what is outside is what gets to us first. So if indeed a mole should be removed, or maybe the nose is questionable, and you want to have a better cosmetic look, then you should think about doing things like that, bonding the teeth and so forth.
Christine, you're a drama student at the University of Iowa.
Right.
And I know that you've invested in your appearance. You've got braces.
Right now, yeah. Just the past 2 weeks, I just got braces put on.
Why did you decide to do that now?
Well, I was thinking along lines for commercials, that kind of work. Most of my experience has been in stage work, but you know, if you're trying to get into TV or film, it seems like it would be important to have the appearance is what's most important then.
The close-up.
The close-up, right.
Now, I know also that after graduation, you want to go to Chicago and try to get some experience there before you try to tackle L.A. or New York.
That's my plan. That was one question I had for Mary Lynn was, is it better to start in a smaller city, well, like Chicago or Minneapolis, before coming to a place like New York or L.A., where there's certainly a lot more people in theaters?
Yes, we advise strongly that people out in the Midwest in particular try to go to Chicago. Chicago is burgeoning with theatrical activity now. The Steppenwolf Theater is an example of that. And there are about 50 theaters going on in Chicago. There's lots of commercial work, industrial work. It's a great place to build your resume. So I would suggest that you try a place like Chicago. Minneapolis, lots of theater there too. And all the states now have film commissions, so that if you know about a film that's going on there and get some work doing camera, background work, anything that you can do to build that resume, it's very important.
Any other questions? This is your chance.
Oh, I was wondering about resumes. What do you look for in a resume? You know, someone just, what's going to catch your eye so you're going to notice them?
Usually for me and most of my colleagues, I feel it's the training. For people like you who are just coming out of college, that's really all you've got. You've got training and you've got representative roles that you've done on stage. And so probably that's going to be it. You're not going to lie on your resume, no, no, no. But you're going to give us the truth of the training and the theater work that you've done, and then whatever else you accrue, you will add on.
Brad, you're a model, and you've done some television commercials, so you know something about the business.
Okay.
Let's start with your photo and have Mary Lynn critique that for us.
All right.
All right. Where is the photo?
Can you turn around? There's a monitor right over there, if you can just take a look.
Well, first of all, I think we have to see that Brad is extremely photogenic. I mean, he's gorgeous. to tell you the truth. And his face photographs very well, and those are lovely, pleasant expressions, and the eyes are very clear. So really, his pictures are extremely good. There's nothing wrong with them. You're doing right.
Thank you.
Something.
Any other questions you have for Mary Lynn?
Presently, I'm represented by a few different agencies in town. I'd like to know if it would be in my best interest to, say, narrow it down to one, sign with one specifically, or freelance with the others.
What you could do is sign maybe across the board in commercials. You seem like you probably do a lot of commercial work. And then find a real good agent that will back you in theater, if that's your emphasis, or film and television work. So that one commercial agent, real good one, you could sign with, and then work with another one for the other kinds of work.
I see.
But always remember that the rapport between you and that agent has to be 100% mutual commitment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What do Brad and Christine have to do to make a good impression at an audition?
They have to come to an audition with 100% preparation, script analysis. They have to come asking questions if they don't understand something. They have to invest a lot of time in getting into the emotional life of the character. They have to come in and say, this is my part for 5 minutes, and it's going to be mine. And
a positive
attitude. If they come in saying, oh, look at those other people, they're probably so much better than I am, it's not going to work. They have to come in knowing that this is their role and they're going to give it their best shot. And after the audition, have something else to do.
Mm-hmm. Well, I hope the two of you brought your resumes this morning.
Sure did.
I still have to do mine, so.
Enjoy your stay in New York. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mary Lynn.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, Kathy, you're absolutely right. Kathy's been complaining to me all morning on how the network totally overlooks her, and she's absolutely right. You know, here she is, adorable, young, Bambi, all of that and so on. Do they ever call her and say, how about a week-long appearance on Loving?
You know what's sad? NBC calls me, and I do the Miss America pageant.
Isn't that something? But overlooked by your own network.
That's
but
right.
we're used to it. But anyway, don't say anything.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me at all.
We'll just sit here and do our job because we have to.
Because we are paid to be professional.
That's right. Well, anyway, today we have the director of daytime television casting, ABC TV, Mary Lynn Henry, who has written this book, How to Be a Working Actor. Frankly, everything you ever wanted to know about the acting profession is in this book, from how to take the pictures, from how to get the audition, from how to get the agent, from how to get your own daytime network television show.
And doggone it, I'm going to read it this weekend.
That's right, because who knows? Maybe one of these days your own network might call you and say, you know what? And it's true. It's true. Susan Lucci, for years, has whispered in my ear, why don't you do our show? Why don't you do our show?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I said? Because nobody calls.
Well, I guess we're just going to have to change that, Regis.
Is this a firm offer?
Let's just say it's negotiable.
Poor Mary Lynn, I bet you get this everywhere you go. I mean, everybody wants to be on television.
Yes, they do.
And you'd think that we would have class enough to know that and not do
Well,
this
I
to
wouldn't
you,
bring
but
it up
we
on-
don't, because we're upset.
That's right. She's been complaining all morning. I myself, I can take it. You think I need to be on Loving? It doesn't mean that much to me. You know, it's her. She keeps nagging me. All right, now look, let's talk. Mary Lynn, let us talk, because so many kids have come to us and have said over the years, how do you get started? How do you get that break? I have a tendency to discourage people from trying to get into this business because it is such a heartbreak, and we're all lucky to be here in the first place. And I don't know how much luck goes around like that.
Well, luck is very important, Regis, as you know, and when you ever got your first break, no matter when it happened, you felt prepared when that opportunity came. And that's what we talk about. Luck is preparation married to opportunity. So even if you're not in New York, if you're outside of New York and you're training somewhere, you're going to classes, you're working in local theater, you're doing regional theater, you're doing non-equity theater, whatever you're doing, you're working at building a resume. And that's what's important, so that when someone like myself or the people who are like me that go out into the field and look for young talent, middle-aged talent, it really doesn't make any difference anymore. We've got agents that we talk to throughout the country, and they put young people on tape for us and send tapes to us. That's how Carmen Thomas got on All My Children.
Yeah, that does happen occasionally. You do go out there and pull people out of there. So the trick is then, wherever you are, start working right then. If you can. If you're in school, get in that school production.
That's right.
Isn't the
Absolutely.
big problem that everybody wants to start further up the ladder than they should. And they don't want to do the regional stuff. They all want to come to the big city.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. That's the major problem why I feel so many people are not working, because they haven't paid their dues.
And they should.
And they've got to pay their dues. They come here thinking that Broadway is going to take them into its arms and they're going to be stars overnight. And that's just not the way it happens. I mean, that's like one infinitesimal % of whatever stories that we hear about, you know, that
Yeah,
old
and we
Schwab's.
perpetuate the myth.
Yes, absolutely, but it's not true. People come here who are ready to come here. People are born for New York, I think is important. Were you born in New York? You were born near here. I wasn't. I was born in California, and all my life I dreamed about New York. New York for me was the ultimate. It was playing the Palace. And I think that's what a lot of people from outside of New York feel. They've just got to be here.
That's right. Now, I met a lot of cab drivers, and I'm sure you have too.
Yes.
Who are unemployed actors or in between jobs who are waiting for that big break. And boy, I tell you, it's very touching sometimes.
Well,
but what should somebody like that do? Who has worked in regional theater, who has done the little theater, who has some experience?
Okay, one thing that I'm trying to get people not to do is to come here thinking they're going to wait on tables or drive a taxi cab. I think creativity inspires further creativity. A lot of people come here who can do other things. I found that there are actresses who can make jewelry. I found that there are actors who can do creative carpentry. I found that there are people who can create games, if you will. There's one girl I know who's created a marvelous game. She sold 100,000 copies in this country. There are people who can use their imaginations into other things that do not take away from the career goals they've set for themselves.
Because you have to set aside a great deal of time to pursue a career.
Absolutely. And waiting on tables all night, even collecting good tips in the morning, you're
Affects you.
dead tired. You can't come into an audition and be prepared.
Or look good.
Or look good.
All right, we have a young man with us now, Ken Meeker. In a moment, we're going to bring him out here. We're going to find out exactly how he did it and how you helped him as well, okay? We're with Mary Lynn Henry from Daytime Casting at ABC. We'll be right back in a minute. Okay, all right, I will hold up the book. How many times is she going to order me to do that? Just because they work on network television, they can push around a little guy like this.
I think you might
Here's
get a
the
little
book,
bit more
all right?
than Honey reads
Here it
than-
is, Mary Lynn Henry, How to Be a Working Actor, the Insider's Guide on Finding Jobs in Theater, Film, and Television.
Can I say quickly, co-authored by Lynn Rogers,
Of course.
please?
Well, where is Lynn? Why isn't she here?
She should have been here.
She should have been here, but you didn't want her here, probably. You know how these network people are. Okay, so let's bring out
He
now...
has no bitterness at all.
None at all,
None
none.
at all.
Now, let's find out what this fella's all about, okay? Okay, now let's talk about him. He was born in New York, grew up on Long Island, started acting at college, leading roles in The Taming of the Shrew, A Midsummer Night's Dream, and The Glass Menagerie and Golden Boy.
Legit theater, we would call that.
Actually, he's got a lot of credits. And is he working now on a TV show? Which one? Doesn't say so here, but which one is it?
One life to live.
One Life to Live is a
also
biggie.
important, though. You see? There's other skills.
Yeah. He actually has really prepared himself for an acting career, and let's meet him now from One Life to Live. Here's Ken Meeker. Hello, Ken. How are you?
Ken, nice to meet you.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah,
Kiss.
yeah, sure,
Yeah, go ahead.
It's all right.
You better kiss her, Ken. Job is hanging by a thread the way I see it. And when did you decide you wanted to be an actor?
Well, it was the beginning of college, actually. When I went to college at first, I really had thought about becoming a doctor. I started a pre-med program there, and then a friend of mine had sort of on a dare asked me to audition for a play. Got into the play and ended up doing about 20 more in college. And
Got bitten
hooked.
by the
Yeah,
bug.
got bitten
And then
by
right
the bug.
after college, okay, so you had all these college credits. Then what did you do?
Well, I came to the city, started to make the rounds to agents, casting directors, mostly sending out pictures. Was waitering for the first year I was in the city. And then Mary Lynn's group over at ABC, they put out a call in backstage about a talent search in the old studio tradition. And I sent in a picture and got called in.
So those things actually do happen, right? Where you put out the big talent call, and people then send pictures, and from his picture you decided? Why? What about Ken was so unusual that you decided that he was going to be a call-in?
Gorgeous.
Intimidating.
But tell me precisely what it is about him. Is it the white gleaming teeth?
Wait a minute.
Is it the beautiful hair? What is it?
Ken Meeker, to me, is the kind of man that every woman would want for her daughter, or maybe for herself.
Okay.
Now, this is important. We also want somebody who fan mail will come to quite often. I know you get a lot of fan mail, but I would think that maybe Ken here...
I get a postcard a month. Is that all right for you? But Ken, you assume will be a big draw, right?
I think so.
Sometimes, even though you're happily married and all that, sometimes it takes a little pitter of your own heart.
Pitter, pitter.
Pitter, patter, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. Sometimes you casting directors fall in love with the people that you...
Easy.
Boy, is she tough.
But she said something very important here, Reach, and that is the picture. She noticed the picture. People send in these horrible little things. Yes. Should they spend a lot of money on a picture?
Well, I think that this is a case of quality, and you don't go down to 42nd Street and put a quarter in the machine.
Yeah.
You have to invest in a wonderful, gorgeous picture. We have samples of those pictures in our book.
That's right.
And it has to be a picture that shows you as you are when you walk in the door for the audition.
That's the other
it has to look
mistake,
like you. It should be attractive. There should be nothing distracting from the face. It's a packaging tool.
But is there something then when you meet the person? Say you liked his picture, he comes in. What then is it? What can they do to get your attention?
By being themselves. By being warm and natural and honest, and if they're nervous, say so. And he did it.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, how many people did you pick from this backstage call?
Oh, I think there were close to 30 people, but there were like 20,000 to 25,000 pictures that flooded in.
Sure.
You picked 30, and then from that, what did you whittle it down to?
We whittled it down to about 12. Out of that group, in addition to Ken Meeker, were people like Tom Hanks, Donna Dixon,
all from that casting
and
call?
Jillian. Oh, this was when Joyce Selznick
Oh, well,
was
I
in
remember.
town. You remember
I
that
remember
one?
that.
Thinking of that particular
That was the
casting
one.
call. Yeah. And Ken came out of that batch?
Yeah.
You're going to do it again?
Not
But that
real soon.
Yeah, but that only happens once, frankly, in a long time when you have an open call like that and bring
really, it was to kind of institute that old studio thing again, and I think it's a great idea.
It is
But
a
you know, we
fabulous
get
idea.
unsolicited mail anyway, like Ken sent us a picture without agent representation.
Right.
And we,
So they don't need an agent, they don't need a manager?
well, if they've got the good picture and a good background, we'll look at at them.
All right, so then what happens to Ken now? Now he's in this soap?
Now he's in this.
And you're grooming Ken for bigger and better things, and maybe
We
his own
hope.
morning show or something. Huh?
There'll never be
that's
any
not a bad idea.
competition to you, Regis.
There's only one Reach, that's for sure.
That's for sure.
Okay, I'll
He
hold
did
up.
do Love American Style.
That's
I know
right,
he
and was
did.
very good, too.
I know you were.
Even though the Peter Jennings Bulletin wiped me out, and all of you had a big laugh over there at the network, I was still very good in
It's
that.
got to be rerun.
They don't call me Mr. Guacamole for nothing. Just remember that. All right, I'll hold it up one more
One
time.
more
Anything to
time.
keep network people happy.
Yes, let's keep
How
them
to
happy.
be a working actor. Actually, it is a great book.
It's a
and
terrific book.
everything you wanted to know about cracking into this business right in here. Ken, we thank you very much for coming by.
Thank you,
Continued
Regis.
success.
Mary, nice to have you on the show.
Marilyn, nice to have you.
Back with the news and the weather next in a moment.
All right, let's get right to it. We have with us the co-authors of this book, the book How to Be a Working Actor. I'm sure you'll all be buying this and reading this tonight instead of watching the 10 o'clock news. Our guests include Mary Lynn Henry. She is one of the co-authors. She's a director of casting for ABC Daytime Television, responsible for casting and supervision of the daytime dramas Ryan's Hope, All My Children, and One Life to Live. Some of our competition, unfortunately. Lynn Rogers has been a leading lady in 7 of the daytime dramas, Guiding Light, As the World Turns, and she has also served as local and national union boards and has been elected to the Board of Governors of National Association of Television Arts and Sciences. And also with us is Fred Schiffman. Fred is a talent agent and a senior vice president in the commercial department for the J. Michael Bloom Agency. He basically books talent for television commercials and makes deals. Fred, to start right off with, what would you've heard some of the questions that I asked our first panel and the audience. What would you say to the person who's the aspiring actor about getting someone like you to represent them? How do you go and get a good agent?
Well, of course, the first step would be the picture. That is your calling card. And you've got to get a picture that is going to sell you and send it out to agents' offices. Also, to try to get into showcases, be seen. If you know anybody who has an agent, see if they can refer you to an agent. All these steps I would take.
What about in this age of video, using a video instead of a black and white photograph? Do you look at things like that?
Well, I do, but it's very time consuming. The first step would be to get the picture, then the agent would interview the actor, and if he wants to go the second step, then he would review the video and have the office review the videotape.
Now, Marion Lynn, if there's one fundamental thing that I see in reading through your book, right, How to Be a Working Actor, it is to treat acting as a business.
Yes.
Now, explain the philosophy underlying that and some of the mistakes that people make when they're not treating it as a business.
Well, in the first place, as we say in the book, if you're going to Silicon Valley to be a computer programmer, you're not going there with just a knapsack on your back. You're going with degrees and experience.
Right.
If you're coming here to be an actor, then for heaven's sake, have some experience, have training, have worked somewhere else before you get here. And too often than not, the beginning actor who comes to New York comes here financially ill-prepared. And one of the things that we talk about in the book is the budget. Is planning how to budget yourself and your time once you get here so you don't waste time.
What did you think about what Michelle Phillips said about having that pipeline between your parents and you with money coming in?
Yes.
Can't hurt.
It helps to have wealthy parents, yeah.
What about, I think that when people say, okay, I want to make it in show business, I want to be an actor, I want to be an actress, they may set out for New York, and they may also set out for Los Angeles. Describe some of the variables between trying to attempt to accomplish the same goals between New York and Los Angeles.
Well, one of the things we talk about is who goes to New York and who goes to Los Angeles.
Right.
That's the first distinction. A lot of actors want to be in films and they want to do primetime television, and obviously then they should go to Los Angeles. Those who really think they need to get their feet wet on the stage and get into as much theater as they can obviously are going to head for New York. Many times now, casting directors from California will come to New York, find actors with wonderful stage credits, and before you know it, they'll be out in Los Angeles doing work. But the thing that people should understand is that if they go to Los Angeles, there is a different set of rules. For one thing, out in Los Angeles, you've got to have an agent. That's a very big distinction. Otherwise, you're going to be waiting around for that phone to ring. That's
Right.
no joke. An agent
Particularly if
is...
you can't afford a phone. big problems there, yeah.
They rent phones out there. But you have to have an agent, and you have to have just about as much money saved up as if you're coming here. And we do. Lynn and I work very hard on these budgets that we put in the book.
Let me go back to Fred for a second. Fred, you mentioned showcases. You talk about showcasing and showcases in your book. What happens at a showcase? And would an important agent, I mean, a vice president of a major agency like J. Michael Bloom, really spend that much time showcasing people?
Well, not necessarily I would go,
Right.
although I do go. But the entire staff of our company, and I think most agencies, have assistants, agents, sub-agents. We ask everybody in the agency, even the receptionist, to go to these showcases
What happens
and
at
be
a
trained
showcase?
and refer people to us.
What happens there? I mean, for the benefit of those few people watching who are not in show business today, explain what a showcase is.
Well, a showcase could be anything from an off-Broadway production of a Broadway show
Right.
to somebody's freshly written piece that's being produced and put together before it gets to another point. And they usually hire, because of funds, people who have not yet been established.
Who were some of the, just name off the top of your head, a few of the perhaps successful actors and actresses who really showed that early promise in commercials? Occasionally you'll see one of these retrospectives where you'll see like John Travolta doing a rye bread commercial or something. Who are some of the ones who've made it big?
Diane Keaton.
Diane, yes.
Diane Keaton was doing that, deodorant, all the jogging around,
Right.
and that's how she came to the attention. Dina Dietrich, who was Mother Nature on the margarine commercials, who got
Right.
on Broadway because of that.
Marriott Hartley.
All of Mason.
Marriott Hartley.
Mariette Hartley,
Sure,
Susan
wonderful.
Sullivan, my Lord, all
Just
of the
goes
soap stars.
It's come full circle now, because people now start out in commercials to provide income for themselves, then they become stars, and then they're sought after to do commercials again as celebrities. So it's now come full circle.
Just also, again, from this book, and you spend, I think, a nice amount of time in your book talking about the dealing with rejection. It'd be crazy to do a show about how to be a working actor in New York without dealing with that question. What are some of the tips you give people about dealing with the fact, sorry, not right? Just,
Okay.
they passed.
Well, go ahead,
Well, it
Lynn.
has nothing to do with you. I think that's the hardest thing, and you should have other things that you're going to do that day, so that this doesn't become the one focus.
waiting,
Because then you're focusing on getting the job instead of doing it.
let's shift around here. We've got a few people in the audience up at the mics with questions. Okay, so why don't we get ready to take them? And in case you've tuned in recently, everyone in the audience came because they're a working actor, attempting to be a working actor, or planning to be a working actor in New York. First at the mic. Hi, what's your name?
My name is Olga Elena, and
Yes?
I am a Hispanic actress. I don't speak perfect English, but I have a question. There are about 3 million Hispanics in the tri-state area. Only about 20 theater companies, and only about 7 advertising agencies that deal with Hispanics. Why don't they take more Hispanics into the soap operas, arguments, stories, and into the commercials? Because really, Hispanics are mingled with the life of the city, and they are a very important part, and they struggle.
I mean, it's not only is it a show business question as such, but it's also a bit of a sociological question. Let's have a quick response to this. Right, no, let's get a reaction from the audience. I mean, from the guests.
There has been such a greater volume of the call for TV commercials that include Hispanics that we have a department now and an agent who specializes in just those commercials. And the volume of bookings for Hispanics has been increasing all the time. So I feel that that is turning around in the commercial world.
It's turning around in soap operas as well. One Life to Live in particular has been dealing with a lot of Hispanic stories. Ryan's Hope takes place in New York. We certainly deal with the issue, and we will be dealing more with it. Also, Screen Actors Guild has just sent a notification to all of us regarding all of the ethnic minorities and keeping files on them so that when we need them, we know where to go. This is also important.
I think this is important, too. One of the things I think we'll have some fun with on the program, because I want you to just kind of sit here, relax. We're not asking you to judge, but I may get your reaction, is special people in the audience were by total random pick got those little stars on their ticket. Now, what we want to do right now is introduce you to a couple of them. What we're going to do are basic a 1-minute improv, right? Hi.
Hi.
What's your name?
Beth Dietz.
Beth, have you worked much as an actress?
On and off.
All right. All right, we'll give you 1 minute, and your improvisational premise is you just discovered that you hit $2 million in the lottery.
Oh, God. Ma, you're not going to believe this. I just won $2 million. I don't know what to do with it, though. I'll buy a car, a BMW. Of course, I have to take my road test now. My house. I could buy my house in the village with a fence and a pool and a life. I'll have a life. I don't have to take the train anymore. The IRT broke down today, and I was on it. But I don't have to take it anymore because I won $2 million. Okay, I'm going to stay calm. Ma, what am I going to do with the rest of my money? Amy, you don't have to pay me the $22 you owe me anymore. Forget it. I'll pay you $22. What else am I going to do with the money? God, I'm so nervous. $22 million. $20 million. $2 million? $2 million. That's not too much.
We have the authors of this book, How to Be a Working Actor in New York. We have some actors waiting in the wings with improv, Fred Schiffman from J. Michael Bloom, and you with a question. Hi, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Jared Roy, and my
Good
question...
name for an actor, Jared Roy. It's right out of the Big Valley. Yep.
Right. My question is directed to Marilyn Henry. I'm curious to know that if an actor were to accept under 5 extra work on a soap opera, is it true that would ruin their chances of being up for a contract role because of being demeaned?
That's a good question.
But it's absolutely false, and it's the kind of misinformation we try to deal with in our book. We give a very good example of this, Jared. We talk about Jacqueline Zeman, who started her whole career in soaps as an under 5. And the under 5 led to a day player, and the day player led to a contract part. The contract part on One Life to Live led to the attention of General Hospital, and the rest is history.
She's now Queen of Finland.
Never turn down work. Work is the most important thing. If you are an actor who the producer or the associate producer or the casting director thinks of in terms of principal work, they'll certainly bring you in for it. But don't turn down the work that will give you the hands-on experience.
All right, let me go to the next fellow in line there. Hi, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Bill Torres.
Hi, Bill. Good name for an actor or a shortstop, one of the two.
Ooh, a little ethnic humor, Bill. I like that.
Go.
They call me Bill. I'm Bill the Vulnerable Hispanic. You see, I'm here to speak. I read for Mary Lynn the other day.
Yes,
because,
you did.
Yes, I did. And I had a lovely time. Mary Lynn had a great time, and it was wonderful.
I laughed a lot, Bill.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Mr. Boggs or Miss Henry, is it considered tacky to bring a tape if you're a comedian and suggest that perhaps you could be on Comedy Tonight with Bill Boggs?
No, we see tapes all the time for Comedy Tonight. We're not taping now because we've done 110 shows and we're all on the respirator. But when we go back in production, we'll absolutely look at your tape. We have boxes of tapes that we've screened, and we return them, too.
That's terrific.
All right, let me take one more question, then we're going to go back to the improvs. Hello.
Hi, my name's Adam Selkowitz, and I'm 15 years old, and I'm having trouble getting work because my agent says it's the braces, and I'm wondering, why are they such a problem? I mean, it's natural to have braces. I mean,
All
it's...
right. Quickly.
Fred.
Well, sometimes you're going to have a problem with braces because of the camera and the reflection. All those technical things sometimes have to be
Give us
considered.
a big smile so we can check them out here. Okay.
But sometimes there'll be a call for someone with braces, and then you'll be perfect.
All right. All right, let's shift back quickly, yeah.
I just wanted to get back to the question about should I be an extra or an under 5. You never know what will happen as a result of that, which is also what we speak about in the book.
Good
Someone will see you for something else entirely.
We've got some people here who are going to be seen. Let me just the value of what we're seeing done here, which are basically 1-minute quick improvs, to an actor in his repertoire. What do you say, Fred?
Well, I think maybe the improv is loosens one up and gets them ready for the situation which they have to audition for, you know, in reality.
Can you
For
use this in an audition situation or a casting situation?
In a rehearsal process, but not the actual audition. This is to give you the texture.
The texture.
Although there are some commercials that ask you just to audition with an improv.
For commercials, yes.
All right, let's try another improv. The premise here is Judy Licht for First Edition News Update, and depending on time, we'll take some more questions from the audience. That's a lot of fun. Judy, thanks right now for some questions to close out the show for our panel. Hello, what is your name?
My name is Cleo Quitman, and I
Yes,
have a
Cleo.
question for Mr. Schiffman and Ms. Henry.
Fred Schiffman, yeah, go ahead.
Right. As an agency who sign principal or a set number of artists, couldn't there be more turnover, or what could you do to see more talent since it's so lucrative in the business?
That's for Fred.
Well, I don't know how we could possibly see more than we see. We have many agents there right now. There are about 10 agents right now who see at least 5 people a day. And I think if we saw any more than that, we'd forget who we saw the day before. So we really do, I think, cover as much ground, and we have the assistants and everybody working to try to promote as many new people to come into the agency as possible. But you also have to represent the people that are assigned to us also, and we can't forget
Sorry,
about
we
those.
can't go any further, Fred, and I hate to cut you off, but we're actually out of time, so let me just quickly point out that Mary Lynn Henry and Lynn Rogers wrote this book, How to Be a Working Actor. Fred Schiffman is at J. Michael Bloom. Probably get a couple calls this afternoon, I guess, as a result of his appearance. He's already diving under the chair. And tomorrow we have...
Lana Turner's only come along every 50 years, as far as I know. The process today is much more sophisticated, and today we're going to learn from an expert, because we have ABC's casting director of daytime television. Please welcome Mary Lynn Henry. What are you dressed like California? Look at this. Look at this.
Hello, cheers.
Hey, don't wear this in New York. Come on now, huh? No way.
I would.
Would you?
Of course.
Well, you're a native
I
California.
got
You're a
this.
native Bay Area
I
person.
got this in Paramus, New Jersey.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah.
Hayward, California, San Jose State, as a matter of fact. Local girl made good, made big time, yeah. When you see somebody who wants to be in television, who wants to be in a soap opera, can you just take one look at them and know, yes or no? Is it that easy?
Well, on occasion, one look is enough.
Yeah.
But more often than not, a lot of looks are necessary.
Really?
Well, because everybody grows as actors, and I would hope so too. And so sometime I can see somebody, and 2 years later, they're ready.
So they've grown, in other words. If they work hard at it, sometimes they can change and actually grow into it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. You've discovered, I know, and made the careers and started
Help
the careers.
launch.
Help launch.
I hate the word discover.
Yeah.
Help launch.
Well, let's find out. Let's find out whether you helped launch or discovered, because we have on the telephone, ladies and gentlemen from General Hospital, Jackie Zeman. Let's please welcome her, huh? Yeah. Jackie, you have a lot of fans here. How you doing?
Thanks. Hi, Fred. Hi, Terry. Hi, Mary Lynn.
Hi, honey.
Tell me this, Jackie. Did she discover you or help launch your career? Tell me what she did for you.
Well, probably if it weren't for Mary Lynn, I wouldn't be an actress today on General Hospital.
Really?
Yeah. You know, I first met Mary Lynn. She was my teacher.
Really?
And this was I was just figuring it out before we got on the phone, 12 years ago.
When you were in the 4th grade?
And it was in New York, and I wanted to be an actress, and I had absolutely no idea what to do. I was taking some acting lessons, but I wanted to get on TV, and I didn't know where to go. And she was teaching a course at a place called Video Associates, which is a wonderful school in New York for actors who have never been on camera and don't know television technique. And at the time, Marilyn wasn't with ABC yet. She was at Cunningham and Walsh.
Got it, yeah.
So she called me one day, and she said, look, I have a commercial for you to come up and see, and to come up and read for, and I have the copy. Why don't you come up to the agency? And I was so excited. And I was also very nervous because it was the first professional audition I had ever gone on in my entire life.
And eventually you got on General Hospital because of her, huh?
Well, what she said to me when I went up to the office was she said, take this copy into the ladies' room and don't come out until you have it memorized. So there I am in the bathroom trying to learn the lines, came out and got lucky enough to get a call back. And do you know, that evening she dropped it by my apartment with all kinds of marks on the copy explaining exactly how to read it, to do it properly so that it would come out to be a good spot. Well, P.S., I got the job. It was a Jergens soap commercial, and it ran and ran and ran for a couple of years. I made over $25,000, and it paid all my acting bills and everything.
Whoa, beautiful. So that was the start. Yeah. Mary Lynn, tell me, what was it about Jackie Zeman? Now, here was Jackie. Did you notice right away that there was a certain quality about this woman?
Yeah, of course I did. She was so very young and eager to learn everything. She had a wonderful vocal quality. She had a magnificent energy. She had a beautiful figure, gorgeous face, this mane of red hair, and I found in her a humor that a lot of people would have kind of looked over, you know, because she was so pretty that everybody looks at pretty people and say, oh, they can't be funny. Within Jackie, she had all of this kind of humor and wit going on and lots of connection. And so I knew she was going to go places.
Well, she sure has, and she's kept that sense of humor also.
Yeah.
She's kept all those qualities. Jackie, thanks for calling, hey, because I know you've got to get back on the set. You're busy this morning, so thanks a lot for calling in. Continued good luck to you.
Thank you, and have a good show, Mary Lynn.
Thanks, honey.
Jackie Zeman. All right. Good lady. Yeah. Now, in fact, I got a list of a whole bunch of them that you brought along the way. Carmen Thomas, for example, from All My Children. What about her? What was very special about her?
Carmen, I did not know Carmen. Carmen had just graduated from the High School of Performing Arts in Atlanta, Georgia, and we have an agent in Atlanta, Shay Griffin, who puts people on tape for us on occasion. And there was this part of Hillary, and we said, oh, you know, what are we going to do? Young girls with experience are hard to find, of course, and so we just put feelers out everywhere. And my relationship with Shay sparked getting this little girl on tape. The tape was sent to us, and the producer of All My Children looked at her and said, let's get her in here. And so it was just making those phone calls and being there, being ready to come in, and she did it. She was fabulous at the audition.
A classic case, though, of actually being on videotape first.
Yes.
Before she actually came in for the audition.
Yes.
Christina Melandro, General Hospital. Oh, yeah.
Christina, I received a picture of her in the mail. She was from Indianapolis, Purdue University. She'd never done a thing. I looked at that picture of this little dimpled blonde girl, and I said, oh my God, if she can talk, we're in biz.
All right. And
so she flew in at her own expense. She got a test on Ryan's Hope first, and then when Gloria Monty was in Chicago doing Tony Geary's movie, Christina was brought in by our Chicago casting consultant, and we were looking for an Aztec princess, and we cast Felicia with Christina, who's not exactly what you might call an Aztec princess.
Hardly. Darnell Williams, All My Children.
Darnell. Well, Darnell was a young actor who had had some stage experience, and he was referred to me by a very good black director, acting teacher named Fred Hudson. And he came in to see me, read the role of Jesse. I said, oh my God, does this guy have something? And sent him over to the casting director there. He was put on tape with about 5 other guys, and of course he got it and has won 2 Emmys since.
Yes. Now, was it primarily his ability to speak and express himself, or a combination of that look in the eye and just the way he handles himself? Is it a combination of things,
It's
or what?
all those things. It's the physical attitudes. It's
Yeah.
the intelligence. It's the connection to the role.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can have wonderful black actors, and they couldn't do Jesse. They could do a lot of
Got
other
it.
things.
Yeah. Christopher Durham. A lot of ladies like him, I know.
Heartthrob
And a lot of men
John.
respect him.
Well, a few years ago, Christopher Durham was tested for the young boy on Dynasty, Stephen. He was
Mhm.
tested for that part, and he didn't get it, but I saw his test and I remembered him. And then he got a role on Capital. And he did that, and it was over with. And I have been pushing for Christopher to be on ABC for like the last 3 years. He's been tested for everything that he was possible for. So when this role came along, and he got it well.
Beautiful. Well, there are a lot more, but next we're going to talk about the actual process, what you go through if you want to become a star. Right after this. Don't go away. Mary Lynn Henry has written a great book, How to Be a Working Actor, and this is what it's all about, the nuts and bolts, really, of getting a job and all the processes that you have to go through. And let's begin with the first thing. Where do you start? So you're sitting back here and thinking, oh, boy, I want to become a star. Now, what the devil do I do? Where do you start?
Well, first of all, don't say star.
Ah.
Say, I want to be an actor, and I want to be a working actor.
Yeah.
And if stardom happens to come along, fine.
Mhm.
But that's not
Good.
the ultimate goal. This is part of the process. Being ready also when stardom does come is very important. What you do is you say, if I want to be an actor, then obviously this is your career. This is the field you've chosen to do. And if you choose to do any kind of career, whether it's a lawyer, a doctor, nurse, anything, you give it 100% commitment. You have to in order to be good.
You're not just going to be discovered. You've got to
No.
have the skills going
You
for
have got to be ready. We say luck is preparation married to opportunity. And that's the way it should be. If you want to go to New York or if you want to go to Los Angeles and become a working actor, then have a resume, be ready to work when you get there, and have a lot of money saved up so that you can live while that opportunity is coming your way.
Now, that's easier said than done. It takes a lot of money to live in
It
LA
takes
and
an
New York,
awful
doesn't
lot
it?
of
Yeah.
money. In our book, we talk about what it costs to set up housekeeping in both places.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much even these days. It used to be thought that LA was cheaper than New York. Not so, because you've got to have a car in LA. You all know what a car upkeep is all about here. But in New York, you've got terribly high apartment rents, only going up as we speak.
Yeah.
8.25% sales tax. Just think of that for a minute.
How many months would you be prepared to live in New York City without a job, normally, on the average?
I would.
1, 3, 6 months? Who
We
knows?
would like to think 6.
Yeah.
Because
half a year without income.
half a year, be prepared to think of not having income for 6 months so that you can live and get everything together
Yeah.
when the breaks do come, you see. I mean, the breaks could come when you get off the plane.
Sure.
It's happened.
But you've got to walk in also, once you have enough money saved up, with a resume, also some good pictures or a composite
Good
or whatever
credits,
you call
an
it.
8x10, one shot, one single shot that says, hi, I'm Joe Smith and I'm ready for a job.
Yeah. Now, in fact, we've got some pictures of some people out of your book, and which is the wrong way to do it, and then a little better, and then the best way. I'd like to show those to you right now. For example, oh, no, who are these two? That's the same guy. Now, what's good about the one on the left and the one on the right?
Now, wait, I have to see. I
Yeah.
can't see it from here.
Okay, hey, how about over here? Can you see it down here? There at the right? There you go.
Let me see.
That's
Oh, this
the-
is
yeah.
Doug Fisher.
Yeah.
All right, Doug, these shots are both good. He's a wonderful character face. And one shot was taken with an outdoor background, and the other shot was in the studio. And a lot of people want to know whether an indoor or an outdoor shot is better, and I think it depends on the subject and the photographer, frankly.
Got it.
And you have to pick your season, of course, with an outdoor shot so that your eyes aren't squinting and so forth.
Well, what's wrong with both of them if you want to be versatile
No,
enough? huh?
these are both good shots.
Yeah,
We
okay.
show these as examples of good pictures.
Yeah. Well, now we also have one of a woman. Now, this is the first picture. No,
Well,
we
now
don't have
here's-
one of a woman.
Here's a
Okay.
very handsome man.
He looks somewhat familiar to you, doesn't he?
He does. He's my husband.
Ah.
And
What's good about both of them? Are they both good pictures?
what we do
better
when
be.
we illustrate these pictures is we show David as the leading man with a hat, which shows his face in very warm expression and somebody that's likable. In the other shot, it's a character picture when he played Mr. Jim on All My Children, showing the scissors as sort of a monocle, which was a lovely comic touch and yet in character.
Mhm.
So it was integral. So those are to show him as a possible leading man with the hat, to show that he can be a character actor in the other shot.
Got it. Now, let's take a look at that woman. Here we go. This was the first picture she had taken. What's
She-
good or bad about that?
Well, Marin came to me with his picture. The hair was so bleached it was dead. And all I could look at were the dark roots. Very black background, so the dark roots were even darker. The skin tone was gone. I couldn't tell really, and she's a pretty girl.
Yes, she is.
And the blouse was a kind of high check here or something, or print, so that was kind of taking away. Now, the new picture on her.
It's a little better on the right, isn't it?
Well,
yeah.
Are we still with Marin?
Yeah, we're
I
still
think?
with her.
No, this is not Marin. This is Sydney.
Oh, hello.
This is Sydney Squire, and these were her first two pictures.
Yeah.
This is a 3-shot in the book to show the first picture, which is the left side there, the second picture, and then you see the bottom picture.
And is that the best one?
As the new image of Sydney Squire.
Got
because
it.
she went to an image consultant, and the image consultant did everything, told her how to do her hair, her makeup, went through her closet, said what to keep, what to throw away, and now she's working.
When you move to New York or L.A. or wherever, do you have to have an agent or a manager?
Well, no, most
You don't?
people don't. Of course not.
Okay.
I mean, where
Well,
are you
I
going to
didn't
get
know.
them out in the, boonies?
Yeah. So you don't have to have one, but that's important for people to know.
No, most people don't have agents when they come to New York. If they're coming from the Midwest, let's say,
Yeah.
they don't have a New York agent. If they're coming from L.A. to New York, they may have an L.A. agent who has a New York office,
Yeah,
that sort of thing. But the little girl with the dark roots who changed her image to a much more commercial look was doing a musical at the Barn Theater in Augusta, Michigan. An agent from New York came to see his client, Tom Wopat, in it, saw little Marin, and said, when you're in New York, you look me up, I want to represent you.
Well, wouldn't that be nice to have that happen? Woo,
That's why I
the
think it's
dream.
important to do regional theater.
Got it. Okay. A lot more with Mary Lynn Henry right after this. Don't go away. We're talking with Mary Lynn Henry about how to be a working actor, and that's the whole point. That's what you're really trying to tell everybody. I know we have a lot of folks in the audience right here. Gina Coco, why don't you stand up here a second, okay? How are you?
Fine.
You're a very pretty lady.
Thank you.
You want to be in showbiz, huh?
Yes, I do.
You're positive about that.
I'm positive.
Have you been working much so far or not?
Yes, since August, yes, I've been working some.
Doing what kind of things?
Movies, television commercials, stage.
Okay. You paying the rent?
Yeah, kind of.
So you're making it a little bit here in San Francisco. Now, what we want to do is actually have Mary Lynn take a look at some of the pictures and some of the resumes and really give a very honest analysis now of what you have representing you to someone like Mary Lynn. So, Mary Lynn, we've got Gina Coco here.
I
Now,
have
do you
Gina's picture.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it.
Yeah, okay. What do you think?
Gina, you're much prettier than this pic. Can I hold this picture up?
Sure.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd
All
agree
right.
with that. She is much
Gina
prettier
is
in
much
person.
prettier. First of all, the background is terribly dark. Your face is very light in it. It's almost washed out except for the eyes, which are very made up. And then we've got that dangling earring.
That's bad. Why is that bad?
Yeah, because it distracts from the face. Anything that distracts from the face, this is a rule of thumb.
Yeah.
Get rid of it.
Okay.
No dangling baubles. Don't put your hands around your face. Anything of that sort. We saw some pictures of that character actor, straight on look, good lighting, which I don't think this was, and just a nice, pleasant smile. Smile.
Yeah.
There you are.
All right.
There
So the
you
number
are.
one thing is go out and spend some more bucks and have the right picture taken, otherwise forget it, huh?
Really, you've
Yeah.
got such a pretty face that this is a disservice unless you are mostly interested in doing modeling. If that's the case, then I wouldn't use this picture.
Good luck to you, Gina. How to become an actor, a working actor. Now, here's a working actor, we hope. Your name?
Yes, Jeannie Fox.
And you're from the San Francisco Bay Area?
Yes, I am.
Working a little bit?
Yes, I am.
Good. Well, let's find out how you're presenting yourself for Mary
Okay,
Lynn Henry.
Jean, I like your picture very much, and I
Thank
want to
you.
show everybody if they can see this picture and know exactly why I like it.
Now, what's good? What's
Well,
really good?
first of all, you can see her face very clearly. It's a very nice smile. Her eyes are nice and big. Her hair is neat and coiffed. The background isn't distracting, and what she's wearing is not clashing with her face. So, for all the right reasons, this is a good picture to have.
And that's been successful getting you into auditions?
Yes.
I hope so.
Thank you.
Good luck to you. All righty. Holly Johnson, why don't you stand up here? Are you from the San Francisco Bay Area, too?
Napa Valley.
Already? How's the weather up there today?
Great.
Yeah, I bet. Now,
How old
Holly,
are you?
19.
Okay.
how does Holly represent
Of
herself?
course she's 19. she sends a picture which shows a darling figure, and obviously you exercise and you dance and so forth, and we can all see that. But for the purposes of sending a picture to me in New York or to any of my colleagues, wherever, the best thing would be to have an 8x10 of your face alone with a sweet 19-year-old smile, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Now, why is it that you don't want to show off your body if you happen to have a wonderful body?
I think
Mary
there's
Lynn?
nothing wrong with showing off the body. I don't think it's the picture that you initially send to anyone.
Gotcha. So, in other words, the first entree then is the face, right?
Yeah.
Now, I know a lot of you folks have questions. Sure.
Where do you find a good photographer?
Well, in our book, we list them. We list good photographers in New York and good in Los Angeles.
Yes, ma'am.
Without knowing my background, would you say I'm actress material?
I wouldn't even hazard a guess. You have a very nice face and a nice voice, but without knowing your background, no, I couldn't tell you.
Mary Lynn, I want to be an actor, and I want to be a working actor. How do you start off? You know, they say that you have to have a card, a union card, to do anything, but how do you get the union card?
That's misinformation, which, thank God, we've got the book now. We have a whole chapter about understanding the unions and how to get work without being a union member.
Yes.
And what does a very brand new beginner do? What is the very first thing one would do?
Take lessons. Go to an acting class, start studying.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, to start into this and find a good acting class here in the city, where would you go to begin? What would you look under or after to know
I
that
think
they're
you'd call American
well-known?
Conservatory Theater. That would be the first place I'd go to.
Good old ACT. You bet you're reliable.
Mary Lynn, do many of the parts require a foreign accent, say an English accent? And if so, would somebody with such an accent have a somewhat
Have you watched our soap operas?
Yeah, it is.
A little.
I rest my case.
Yes.
All right.
That's not going to inhibit him, is it?
No.
Not at all. Yes, did you have one? Oh, you didn't. Excuse me. Yeah, you do up here. Yes, sir.
I've done a number of plays in community theater, and recently I've considered trying to do commercial work. But I have heard that once you start doing commercial work, it's very difficult to continue doing community theater work.
I
Is
don't
that
understand why that would conflict. First of all, the commercial money is going to help you, pay the rent while you're doing community theater work. They shouldn't conflict at all.
Something to do with
listen to
unions,
them.
she says. She says the heck with it, huh?
Don't listen to them.
The question with money, starting off, for photographs, lessons, what should you aim for? I've already spent thousands of dollars. Is it going to keep going?
It never stops. It never stops.
Unfortunately.
Does it really make a difference whether you mail in your photo or whether you bring it into the office? I mean,
Well, in my case, you can't bring it into the office because we have security guards downstairs. You better mail it.
My question is, how much experience would you say a person would need if they take 1 or 2 acting lessons and have a natural ability to act? What are the chances there?
Well, you see, all we can judge by is a picture and a resume. The resume lists all the experience and or training and credits you've got. So that's what we first see. Therefore, we're taking a chance if we bring in somebody with very limited experience. And, of course, with natural ability, I'm not denying there is natural ability, but you've got to come in, read for the role, and then we'll know.
How does one find a good, reputable agency in Los Angeles?
I cannot tell you exactly reputable agency. I couldn't tell you in New York. You have to go to the agents, meet with the agents, network yourself so you can hear from other actors who they like, who they get along with, and it's just going to take a lot of meetings.
There's no shortcut, is what
There
you're
is
saying.
no shortcut.
A lot of hard work, a lot of constant
You
hustling
do
and
the
networking, so to
research,
speak.
you do the surveys.
Here's one way to start your research. How to be a working actor. Mary Lynn Henry, Director of Daytime Television Casting for ABC Television. Now, if you'd like to see her in person, she's going to be signing some books, and here's where she's going to be. Today, Thursday, noon to 1 p.m., Drama Books, 511 Geary, downtown San Francisco. Today, also, 5 o'clock to 7 at Eulipia Restaurant in downtown San Jose on 1st Street. And there's some other appearances. Friday now, 2:30, she'll be at the Spartan Bookstore, San Jose State. Saturday, from 1 to 3, she'll be at Booksellers at Valco Fashion Park in Cupertino. Your chance to meet Mary Lynn Henry. Good to see you again, and good luck to you, and to ABC Daytime. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Director of Casting for ABC Daytime Television, and she's the one responsible for casting some of your favorite soap opera stars.
And Mary Gaffney, who's the extra casting coordinator for Complete Motion Pictures. She has hired people for movies like Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Norma Ray, Jaws 2 and 3, and she may cast you today. Let's welcome Mary Lynn. And Mary, you people are talking. All right. I must tell you, Mary Lynn and Mary, that they have been knocking our doors down. People have been lined up down TV Hill since Sunday to get on today's show.
Yes, it's true. It's true.
I don't blame them.
Yes,
Well, of course not. It's an exciting business. It really is. Now, when you look over this crowd, the two of you, do you automatically go into your professional mode and start spotting people and saying, aha, maybe for this, Mary Lynn, maybe for a, commercial, a movie, whatever?
Well, I think that's a real superficial kind of judgment. I can see people in a crowd, and perhaps there'll be one person who has the right look for what I'm currently doing. And after some further investigation, such as a preliminary interview and then an audition, I will be better able to decide whether that person has what it takes.
How much power do you have in determining that this person that you might see today or someday can definitely make it on TV? Can you guarantee, if you like someone, that they'll appear on a show?
No. The word power is sometimes abused here. A casting director brings to the attention of several very important people, such as network executives and producers and so forth, certain actors they feel are qualified to do a part. They decide. And in soap opera, the writer's power is very important. If the writer does not like the person, they won't write for that person.
I see.
Now, do you have a chance to confer with the writer
No.
before you start looking?
We don't talk to the writers. The writer writes the description of the character and the audition scene. The writer is at the studio or at a writer's office. The writers and the producer and the network executives confer. And they all look at the audition tests, and then they decide who they think will be best for the part.
Now, as far as movies are concerned, for extras, for instance, you might hire several hundred or several thousand people for a movie. Is that correct?
That's correct. On George Washington 1, I went through probably 8,500 people. And I could look in this audience and probably use everyone that would shave their beard and mustache. The women in the George Washington 1 and 2, women were very few and far between. Only the ball scenes, and then they had to have little waists, because that's the way the costumes are. When you deal in a costume picture, you have to think of sizes.
For George Washington, the waists couldn't be any bigger than what?
Size 30, and boy, do women lie.
Geez, it whiz.
They do.
It's one picture I may have missed.
Yeah. Well, what about height, though, I would think, for George Washington, too, because we have grown taller in the last couple of hundred years, so I would think you'd have height restrictions.
Yes, in a crowd, it's not that difficult, but I think it was Madison or Jefferson, I didn't know, was a very tall man, too. So we hired tall actors, and then again, I had to have stand-ins, and I have to think of heights and looks for stand-ins, so, you know, it's kind of, and when I did Six Pack, we had 3 barroom scenes, and I did all my casting in the barroom.
Really?
Because I had to have country western dancers, and right across the street was a country western bar, and I would go over and pick people out of the dance floor.
Tell us how you were discovered. I think that your career has been very interesting. You started out in Mobile.
Mobile. The movies came to Mobile. And there I was. I'd been active in community theater probably for 20, 25 years. I knew all the talent, and I was doing things for free. Like people would call me and ask to get live commercials. People for the live commercials, and movies came, and there I was.
And there you were ready, as our audience is this morning. Richard.
What do you look for now? We have a young woman here. Your name is?
Susan.
And what is it you want to do, or what advantage do you want to take of our guest today?
Okay, I'm going to school. I'm majoring in theater right now, and I want to pursue it. I don't know how far that'll get me as far as television goes, or if that has anything to do with it. But what I want to know is, what quality are you looking for? What makes you say she's it or he's it when you see somebody?
Or that they've got it. They've got it. You want to know if you have it?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Either one of us will answer this question.
Either one of you can answer every question. Either or both.
I have to put on my specs for this one.
You mean you don't know what I look like all morning?
You have learned me, darling.
Jeez, wait.
The thing is this. How old are you?
19.
You're 19 and you're now studying theater.
Yes, ma'am.
Where?
At AACC.
At where, darling?
AACC.
Which is the Anne Arundel?
Anne Arundel Community College.
All right. I would say to anyone in this audience, not just this young lady, get as much training as you possibly can. That cannot be underestimated. There are too many actors in New York who do not have enough training, and they're waiting on tables and they're not getting jobs. You're a nice, in terms of type, ingenue type, you're pretty. How tall are you?
5'6".
5'6", nice height. good figure. And do as much community theater and local commercial, local film work as you can and build a resume.
Thank you.
All right, good luck to you.
I said good morning. Nice
morning to
seeing
you.
you all there. And welcome to our city.
Thank you.
Your question.
I'm sorry. I said good morning and welcome.
You're having a problem with your television. What is your question, caller?
Well, like I said, I think you sort of answered it before. How to make people, I want to get to meet people as far as trying to get an audition or something. At one time a day, I was supposed to go for one, but believe it or not, at that time, my husband says, no, I don't want another Phyllis Dillon running around. I entertain voluntarily. I do mime. And I love to make people laugh. I'm not afraid to.
You're making us laugh. This is good. You get that first break, that first audition. If any of our people, either watching or in our audience today, want to contact you, would they send you resumes? Would they send you pictures?
Well, that's it. You have to have a picture and a resume with your experience on it. And you have to send it to our attention. We will look at the picture and resume and decide if we think you're right for our particular project.
How about
whatever we're
video? Would you like
working on.
video? Do you prefer that?
I don't like video unless it's professional quality. I don't want to see something in someone's garage.
Really?
You know, with the airplanes flying outside and you can hear all the noises. I don't like that.
All right. Thank you very much for your call. Here is Linda Harris. Thank you again for your entertainment. Thank you.
Well, obviously, being tall is one of the important characteristics. You have that down pat. Now, Mary Lynn was just saying she doesn't want to see home video. She wants to see a list of credits. If you were going to talk to Mary Lynn or Mary right now, what would you tell them you've done, you can do?
Oh, my goodness. I sing, I dance, I act, I model, I do all those fun things.
Tell us your name. We should know that.
Vanessa Stewart is my name. I'm currently right now doing a show. There are auditions that I heard about or lined up for myself right now. My friend heard about the show when I came on today.
Do you have a question?
As far as getting, like she was saying about going to New York, that sort of thing, I've always been told, don't go there yet, you know, wait a little while. I have done a lot of plays and dramas and musicals and things like that. My main problem is getting the get up and go and having that attitude. You know, I've been told, you're so talented.
You're asking
but you just,
about timing, I have a feeling.
More or less.
Yes.
And it takes time. Not only timing, but it takes time.
You know, it's wonderful to say I'm going to go to New York, and frankly, from here it's a train trip. It's an hour plane. A lot of people don't have that accessibility to New York. I think it's important to go there, spend a week there, find a friend who'll put you up, look around the city for how much apartments are going for, get some hands-on experience, some orientation, experience some of it at least, knowing you can come back here.
Can you do it without knowing anybody? I mean, let's say, do you have any contacts in New York?
Well,
do you think would do you some good?
Yeah, I have a friend there who plays in different theaters around, because he tells me about all the auditions that's going on there, and he tells my director here about it, and he tells me. And I also have a cousin that does little acting here and there, whom I've never met.
Is that enough?
Oh, sure.
But there are a lot of trade papers, too,
Yeah.
that have audition notices.
Like what papers? Like
Backstage.
Backstage is one
Backstage
that comes
people,
to mind.
Any others?
Oh. Well,
I really recommend Backstage.
As far as casting people, you look more for outgoing, more or less aggressive? Can you see a person that has talent but not a show off? You know, like you can look at him and say, she's a little shy, but she's got it.
Well, we're in two different worlds. I think Mary Lynn looks for the talent that goes on the screen. I look for the bodies, you know, to fill that background. But I can tell when people walk in the office, I know that they're going to be a good extra, or I know they're not. So I kind of work on vibes, but also people walk in the office that have never done this before. This will change their life. It's a dream come true. And I try to put those people in because I do change people's lives. They have something to talk about the rest of their life. It's the highlight. They may not have anything when they walk in, but when they leave.
I was an extra once in the Alan Alda, Meryl Streep movie.
No. Were you really?
The Seduction of Joe Tynan.
Richard,
Rip Torn and I and 4 million other people pushed a piano out the door. It was a lot of fun. And I said, hello, Senator, but the line was cut, Mary Lynn.
I'm sorry about that. I really am. You're suffering from that, I can tell.
Yeah, it was a long time ago, and it took
wait.
52 hours to
You
do
were
it.
also on a soap opera. Tell them about that.
I don't want to. That was One Life to Live.
One of our soaps.
Yes,
4
of
seconds
course.
last year. You all remember that. Yeah. Thanks, Vanessa.
Yes, Vanessa.
Let's give Vanessa a round of applause.
We are talking about how one gets cast, and I'm very curious, and we were talking about soap operas before, and of course I think for most of us, we've watched soap actors come and go for years, and you're one of the people responsible for getting them there and keeping them there. You mentioned Darnell Williams. Who are some of the other people that you've cast over the years?
Well, let's see. Roscoe Bourne, who was our Joe Novak on Ryan's Hope. Recently, Christina Melandro. I didn't cast on General Hospital, but I helped launch her career. Jacqueline Zeman, who plays Bobby Spencer, I helped launch. Ava Haddad, who plays Cassie on One Life to Live. There have been a lot over the years.
Are soaps still the excellent training ground that they always were thought to be? There's so many well-known actors who
They
move on to
absolutely
movies and to Mary's realm.
They are a wonderful training ground, and what a lot of people don't understand is that because of the demands of the work, we need people who have training, who can come in and assume responsibilities that are extremely pressureful, and be able to do that character consistently every day and grow with it. And that means knowing choices, and that means having that experience.
It's hard work. I mean, Mary, we have to remind people of that, don't we? That you're talking hard work, not as much glamour.
Yes, I'm talking 3:45 in the morning for a 4 o'clock call to get people wardrobed and wigged. This was on the last one, but it's not unusual to get up at 5 to make a 5:30 or 6 o'clock call, to have 100 or 200 people ready for a set call at 8:30. Boring? Yes, and I tell everyone bring a good book.
All right, and with that advice, Richard is ready to help us discover.
If you have any additional information on acting and modeling, and I have done some modeling, and also have done fashion shows, but I have not done as much acting as far as doing TV commercials, but that's what I'm interested in.
Mm-hmm. So you want to know about taking classes, is that it?
Well, I've taken classes, but I'm wondering if I should take more classes.
Yes, you should take classes, and I would also suggest you take some speech classes. You have a regionalism in your voice. We didn't talk about that.
Let's do that. You brought it up.
But I think that, especially in Bollimer, you know what I'm saying. There are regionalisms throughout the country, and one of the things we stress, and especially on soaps, is do not sound like you are from anywhere unless
You're supposed to.
you're supposed to.
So you see a regionalism here, and that can be
You
helped.
can hear it, and it can be helped with the right speech teacher. Speech and phonetics. There are also voice tapes that you can purchase to get rid of regionalism, to have what we call standard speech or mid-Atlantic speech.
Yeah, Middle American, right.
All
Okay.
right, does that help you? It gives you a starting point. Now you know what your next lessons are likely to be.
I was curious about extras. Have you ever discovered an extra who went on to become a big star?
Not that I know of.
Not that you know
all
of.
my extras are special, though. They're all stars. That's what I tell them. They say, "Well, will you make me a star?" And I say, "They're all stars."
Do you have to be an AFTRA or SAG
No.
to be an extra?
No, well, in this area, yes, but then you can use X number of non-unions.
AFTRA is the American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, and SAG is the Screen Actors Guild.
Right.
So you do in this section of town,
Right.
of the country. All right, Lynn. Of our casting directors are going to be leaving addresses in our show office. If any of you would like to reach them for further consultation, to send pictures and resumes, who knows, you might be the one to be discovered, right? You
Maybe.
never know.
Never know. Could be.
Thank you guys for being here today,
Yes,
yes. And
yes.
thank all of you for having the nerve to get up and sing and dance and talk.
Yes, and you are headed for the kitchen, I understand.
Randy Dennis from V103 over there. Shrimp Creole is up next.
Oh, I'm going to sample. That's next.
Actors who live out daily dramas every day and become such an important part of our life. Well, we're going to find out today how they find some of them and perhaps how you might be discovered yourself. My guest is Mary Lynn Henry. She is the author of How to Be a Working Actor, which is different than being an actor sometimes. And I welcome you to Liveline.
Thank you.
You are responsible for overseeing the casting of Ryan's Hope, All My Children, One Life to Live. You've also done some work with Loving and General Hospital and fascinating business.
Oh, yes, it is. Absolutely fascinating and very hard work.
What is a typical, I was going to say, what is a typical day like for you? And I know immediately that there is no such thing, is there?
I'm so glad you said it. There is no typical day.
Yeah.
But I try to, through the week, see as many new faces as I possibly can. I hear as many monologues or audition pieces as I possibly can. I see as much theater as my personal life will allow me to do. And I try to keep in constant touch with the casting directors at our studios so that anyone I think is right for a role we're currently working on will be seen by them.
Mm-hmm. Never having, I mean, I don't know exactly what's involved in an audition. When someone walks into your office, and I know you only cast the major key characters, what process do they go through? What do they have to do? What do they have to show you? How do they sell you?
Well, in the first place, usually I will get a lot of pictures and resumes sent to me in the mail, either directly by the actor or by the agents. And I will then select those who I want to see based on that physical look that I think may be right for daytime television. They come in and we have an interview first. We just sit and we chat, we talk about their resume, what they've done, what they'd like to do. Where I see them possibly is exemplified by giving them a script. I give them a short audition scene. I give them the option of either waiting around and reading it out in the reception area and coming back and doing it for me, or they can take it home and come back the next day. Most of the time they take it home and they come back the next day.
Does that make any difference to you in your judgment?
You know, it's interesting, I think, because sometimes I think by giving them that extra time, I'm going to see them come back to see me with so many more choices and colors in the scene. And what happens is they have less than if they impulsively and instinctively don't have enough time and just come in and go for it.
Just go for it, yeah.
Yeah. So what I find the major problem with most auditioning today is that the actors take so little time to investigate all the possibilities. And in the book, we have a section on script analysis, and we have audition sides from soap opera that they can look over and see what kind of preparation is necessary in creating the life of the character in that scene.
Fascinating. Have you ever had, I'm just curious, when you give someone a script to read, have you ever had someone say, listen, I don't need to go home, I don't need to go in the lobby, let's just go for it, I'll do it cold? And it sounds like that's probably a real dangerous thing to do, but has anyone done it?
Yes, some fools have tried.
And is that pretty much a ploy to try and impress you?
Oh, yeah, I can do it. I'm great. Just wait, you'll see.
No problem.
No problem.
Flat on their face.
Right, absolutely. We're still getting the egg off. You got it.
Well, I want to take a few minutes to rehearse, and then we'll come right back. No, really, we're just going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll try and get some very specific tips for you if you might be looking into being a working actor.
Thanks for watching.
Welcome back to Liveline. This may be our big break. We have a wonderful guest today, Mary Lynn Henry, who wrote a book, How to Be a Working Actor, The Insider's Guide to Finding Jobs in Theater, Film, and Television, and all of those things that we want to know. And she started right here in San Jose. You're an alum of San Jose State.
Theater Department, Speech and Drama, in 1906.
Oh, come on.
Well, all right, 20-some years ago, and the department is a wonderful department. I learned a great deal, and I tell everybody it was the kind of support system I needed to go on to Washington to do graduate work in theater, and then that was a smaller leap to the big pond, New York City.
Now, you took what sounds like a very academic approach to drama and to acting. Do you recommend that?
Yes. Of course I do. I'm a product of it. And if I had gone from the age of 18 to New York and gone to the Academy of Dramatic Art and just plunged right in, maybe I wouldn't be coming from that place. But that's the place I'm coming from, and I think that's the place where actors should come from if they want to have a broad perspective and a wide choice of areas that they know how to research, and they know where their resources are, and they know how to think. Think.
In a brief interview, how do you identify those qualities in an actor?
In an actor, I can usually tell their basic intelligence, how quick they are, where their wit is, what kind of likes or dislikes they have. I elicit a lot of response from an interview situation with an actor, but that's because I've had thousands of them.
Yeah. As I understand it, and correct me if I'm wrong, but most soap operas, they produce 6 a week.
Okay.
So that you can, how does that work?
Soap opera works every day, 5 days a week. If we have to work on a Saturday, it's because we're behind and we have to work on a Saturday because of some special circumstance. But most often, a show a day. So what happens is that the actors have to show up at 7:30 in the morning. They have a dry rehearsal. That's just blocking with chairs, you know, in a room. And then they go down to the floor and they have camera blocking with all the cameras. And that's 6 acts in an hour show and 5 acts in a half-hour show. And they do all that camera blocking, and then there's an hour break for lunch. They come back and they get into makeup and hair, dress rehearsal, and then there's the final taping, and they leave anywhere from 7 in the evening, sometimes to 9 at night, depending on the scenes, the crowd scenes, and so forth in the show.
Intense. And because you don't want, obviously, your viewers to turn to another station, you don't do any reruns in soaps. So do actors, for the most part, who are coming to a soap opera position, do you find that they really understand the intensity of the commitment they're making?
No, I have to really give a parallel of theater. This is theater on television. And if you come from the stage and understand that discipline, you're far readier to cope with the pressures of daytime drama than if you've never had any theater background. So that's why we insist on training.
The good news and the bad news. What's the very best part? I know I've focused on television soaps, and I know you talk about much more in your book, but people can go get your book and find out the rest.
Exactly.
I can't do everything here.
You're right. Thank you.
As far as television soaps are concerned, what's the good news and what's the bad news in terms of being an actor in that situation?
Well, the good news is getting a job. The bad news is not knowing how to get a job and not understanding what type you are. If you understand where you fit into the business, where your focus is, then you can accept the background work, the under 5-line roles, and the day player parts. Knowing who you are is very important in any business, and especially in this area.
Sure. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us. This is a fascinating talk and a fascinating book with a lot of practical information from a hometown girl.
You bet.
All right. We'll be back with more news right after this, so please don't go away.
Our guest right now is a woman who is the director for daytime casting here at ABC at the network. Her name is Mary Lynn Henry, and she has been responsible for lots of successful careers. Let's take a look at some of the people she's helped cast and get going in their careers. Carmen Thompson, who plays Hillary on All My Children. Darnell Williams, who is Jesse on All My Children. Eva Haddad, who plays Cassie on One Life to Live. And Chris Durham, who was just with us the other day, who plays Dakota on Ryan's Hope. Welcome to Mary Lynn Henry. In a couple of minutes in the Flesh Live, we're going to meet some of your stars right here. This is tough business. I was having fun, but it's very, very true. There are a lot of people watching this program right now who are thinking, how do I get the break? I see all these working actors on the program, and I know they're going off to do shows. What do you have to do? This is really the book you've written, isn't it?
We have concentrated a great deal of time on the nuts and bolts, the real hardcore kind of information that you need to know in order to set up your career goals, starting with your budget, to the right picture and resume that you're going to need, to finding an agent, the difference between an agent and a casting director, really the kind of experience that it takes to get in the door, and then what happens when you get there.
What do you look for specifically in an actor and actress when they come to see you?
When an actor or actress comes to see me, first of all, I look for some kind of personality, intelligence, a sense of self, who they are, who they think they are in terms of their career and what they want to do with themselves.
Can we correct a misapprehension? Or maybe it's true.
Okay.
There is sometimes a tendency to view a casting director as somebody who is a purveyor of flesh. They walk in, you take a look at him, and say, okay, you're right for this part, you know, the rest of you beat it.
Yeah, I know that. I've had that experience. It's like the old open call, which some people refer to as the cattle call,
yes.
where you just say no, 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 yes, no, no. I really loathe that system. In some cases, it's the only way we can find that particular person for the role. But I like to see actors work. I like to see something that they've done or something that they're going to do that they excel in. I get a sense of who they are on stage or who they are on camera, and then we go from there. But we're human beings after all. We are not just purveyors of flesh. We really do care about actors, and we want to see them work, and that's the whole reason for the book.
You mentioned human beings. Are you aware of how difficult it is how uncomfortable it is for an actor and how intimidating it is to come into a important casting office and sit there and try to sell yourself. Are you aware of their nervousness?
Always. We get cold, clammy handshakes, so of course I'm aware. And I tell this story. I was once in the restroom and a girl was next to me saying, "Thank you very much for meeting me. I'm so happy to be here." And I thought, what am I going to do? And so I waited for her to leave, and then she forgot her portfolio, and we had to have eye contact anyway. But there she was trying to rehearse her speech. So I know what they go through. We try to make the environment as comfortable as possible.
You were an actor yourself.
Yes.
You went to the big city and you were just as scared as everybody else, weren't you? So you know what that's about.
Of course I know what it's about.
Right now we want to bring out a couple of people who are successful examples of it can happen for you. One of course is a friend of AM's, and the station's been on a lot. Jackie Zeman, who plays Bobby Spencer in General Hospital, and also with us is Ian Buchanan, who is Duke Lavery on General Hospital. Folks, will you come on up? Hi, Jackie Z. How you been, huh?
Good morning.
Ian, good morning. Have a seat. The whole casting process.
You'll have 7 years bad luck.
And also,
going to start somewhere.
And also, you'll have Christina to deal with.
Yes, that's right.
Well, I can replace them there, don't worry.
Jackie, things have gone real well for you, but you've been through the casting process. We've talked about the clammy hands, of the being scared, and the rejection. Have you overcome it, or does it still exist for you?
I think that there's like this feeling of excitement, I think, before going on camera or on the air, before doing anything, and I hope that always remains. But I've finally gotten to the point in my career where I'm comfortable. I feel comfortable on camera, and I feel comfortable, particularly in General Hospital, when we're about to do a scene. There's no more nervousness, that feeling of being a young actor. Oh my God, what if I forget my lines?
When you have to go meet someone who is in an important position in your life, for instance, a Mary Lynn, for a casting thing, if you're up for a role, do you revert back to the little girl, oh, I hope they want me, maybe if I stand this way, maybe if I smile the right way? Does that still go on?
To a point. I think as we get more experience, it's like in any business, as you become more self-assured and more secure and more confident in that you know what you're doing or that you're good at what you do, you get to a point where you say, either I'm right for this and I will be accepted, or I'm not right and it's not meant to be.
Do you guys have cold feet too? Do you feel the same kind of anticipation, nervousness?
Oh, I'm usually scared to death, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Up until the minute, up until just before you take the leap off the cliff or whatever. Yeah, I get scared. I love
the
the fear
nervousness
there.
ever leaves you. I think it's
Well, I
still
hope
there.
not, because
you know
it's,
what we say? Don't be nervous, be excited.
Yeah.
Be excited
Well, it's
about
recognizing that it's
it.
not
Let me raise a couple of points here, and then we'll take a
You
break.
can use it
One is that there's so many people who go to college now and they major in drama and they do theater and they do classical repertory and they learn all about dramaturgy and theater and acting and behind the scenes, and they go to New York and LA and they never act again because they get involved in the business of acting, not the acting of acting. I'd like to talk about that. The other thing is, there seem to be two kind of people we run across. One is the person who is so in love with acting in the theater that this person trains for it, and this is what this person wants. The other is, I want to be a star, I have the right look, which seems to be just as important. We'll talk about that, and we'll be talking to you. We'll be taking your calls when we come back in just a moment. Here, which is a lot of the casting director. Jackie, during the break, said to Mary Lynn Henry, I have a cousin. Here's her picture in her resume, and this befalls you probably every day of your life.
All the time.
And you have chosen. I mean, this is the path you have chosen.
That's right.
All right, the two kinds of actors. The actor who loves acting, please, I don't care if there are 3 people, just give me a stage, let me act. And the other person who grows up wanting the glow, the glitter, if I lean against the car the right way and I get the right picture taken, maybe I can do it. What do you have to address to that?
To these people who say, I'm just going to be a star, I say, that's swell, but be trained. That other person you're talking about, who goes through all the training in the theater background and loves to act, these are the people I want to see, and then the stardom will be a consequence of that. Jackie Zeman is a star, and Jackie Zeman trained and went to class, and she just wasn't like leaning against a car as a hood ornament waiting to be discovered. She was there.
Jackie out in the parking lot here. She's leaning against my car.
She was always dedicated and disciplined, and she is the kind of person I love to talk about. Ian the same way. He was ready when the opportunity came, and that's what we're talking about. And then the stardom is earned. And too many people have all these like, ideals and dreams and all of this, but they've got to be ready and assume responsibility. Otherwise, the coping with success part is going to be terribly difficult.
Once it comes, it can be the worst thing.
Without a foundation.
Yeah. Let's go to the phones right now. Good morning. Who's this?
Hi, this is Kristen.
Hi, Kristen. Go ahead.
I just wanted to know what Miss Henry looks for in pictures, if there's something special that usually catches her attention or something that doesn't catch her attention.
The picture you used, the glossy of yourself?
Your headshot.
You can't really tell unless you see the personality behind the face.
That's right, and that's important. We've got to see the personality. The eyes have got to be clear and pleasant and warm, because eyes on camera are very important. The hair should be neat and coiffed. Nothing should distract from the face, and it should look like you when you walk in the door to meet someone like me.
Somebody said, I think Nina Blanchard was telling me she looks for people, for eyes that have people living behind them.
Oh, absolutely. There's a story.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get a close-up on Ian now. We're going to do this to Ian. Ian, it's going to be the worst moment of your life. Look in that camera.
Probably not. I have so many bad moments.
You know, I was looking at him during the commercial break, and I turned to Steve and I said, he reminded me of, I saw Darby O'Gill in The Little People the other night when Sean Connery was in his 20s.
Yes.
Looks just like he did in that film. Absolutely. It's amazing.
And you're both from Scotland. You're from Glasgow. Is Sean Connery from Glasgow
he's
also?
He's from Edinburgh.
Oh.
He's probably better educated than I am.
Well, Glasgow's the tough town, right? It's a tough.
Yeah.
It's a tough.
Yeah, Glasgow's pretty tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot like New York.
Now, if you have somebody like Ian who obviously has an accent, pardon me, I know we sound like we have accents to you, but you're limited in terms of what you can cast him in, or are you?
We're not limited at all. It's charming. On General Hospital, for instance, Tristan Rogers from Australia. On Ryan's Hope, we have Daniel Pilon, who has a bit of an accent. He's French-Canadian. Accents have nothing to do with it. It's the talent, as long as we can understand you. I mean, if you're unintelligible with a thick accent, it's difficult.
Well, we've understood you very well, Mary Lynn Henry, and if you're interested in pursuing the things that she has to say, it's all in this book called How to Be a Working Actor. Mary Lou Henry and her
Lynn Henry,
co-author. Mary Lou Henner.
Mary Lou Henner.
And Roy Rogers.
And Dale Evans will be speaking.
All these people, yes.
They'll be speaking and signing books at the New Actor Information Project at 6525 Sunset Boulevard in Hollywood from 6 to 8 p.m. You can see all those people there tonight. Tonight?
No, tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Night. Friday
Forget
evening.
today.
Friday night.
Go tomorrow.
Change your plans. Okay. How to be a working actor.
If you didn't
my
get
good friend,
the number,
whatever
call
her
the
name
office.
is.
We'll give
All
it to
right.
you then.
Thank you, gang. Jackie, good to see you again.
Thanks.
All right,
Thank
Ian.
you. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Good luck to you, sir.
Nice Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
What a
Thank
voice.
you.
Coming
Jackie,
up here in the
good to
next
see you
half
again.
hour on AM, we are going to be meeting Mickey the Chimp.
So, you're going to hear me saying something like, what should I say? I'll say, hello, that's a good word. I never could figure that word. Hello, greetings to the new day, to the whole world, and mostly greetings to you. This is, what's the name of the show again? I always forget the name of it.
Joe,
the Frank,
I can't think of your last name.
The Frank
I'm
Joe.
sorry.
Oh, the Joe Frank. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a show for you today starring some very delightful people, and I'm going to ask two of the most respected names in show business, in casting and in acting to be my anchor persons. They are Mary Lynn Henry and Lynn Rogers of How to Be a Working Actor. And I got to tell you that with all the crowded conditions and with all the unemployment, I wonder if this might not be kind of not unfair, but maybe the road to frustration for a lot of people. I read where there's 70,000. First, let me tell you before I say 70,000 people that are in show business and only 2% working, that we've got some spectacular people today, including a lady who became a star very, very early, because she's a very gifted lady. Her name is Candace Early, and Miss Early is one. How about asking Mary Lynn Henry if you want to give us a rundown on a lady named Candace Early?
Oh, well, Candace Early is one of the stars of All My Children, one of the highest-rated soap operas on ABC. I hope I can say that. She plays the character of Donna, which she'll tell you all about later. But she's a multi-talented and versatile actress who's been a favorite on All My Children for a few years now.
And Vivian Blaine, and we're all in the mood to talk. I want to ask Lynn Rogers, what does it mean to be a working actor, and who is this book meant for? and then we're going to, I just want to say, if anybody out there has any theatrical aspirations, Vivian, would you say that's...
I think this is a Bible.
That's
I
could
think
be.
it's absolutely a Bible.
Starting-
It's the greatest boon to
It really is.
to people in show business and to aspiring actors.
Miss...
It should have been written a long time ago, but thank God you did it. Better late
We've
than
done
never.
Miss Rogers, why the book and why the title, Working Actor?
Well, because we did the book because there was really so much misinformation. So many people coming to New York thinking, oh, they're going to be stars. You know, they come in on the bus with their little packet of Moxie and tap shoes, and they expect to be discovered. And of course, that isn't the true thing that happens in show business. It's a business, and we wanted to point out that it was a business. And of course, Mary Lynn knows better than anybody.
The Business of Acting by a very popular actress and a very popular casting director. You know, I don't know if it's too tradey, but I got to ask you, Mary Lynn, what's the difference, let's say, between a casting agent and an agent per se?
Okay, first of all, it's casting director.
Casting director.
And talent agent.
Talent agent.
Yes, and one of the things we tried to dispel in the book
Yes.
was to have people stop calling us casting agents. That implies a conflict of interest.
It does.
So a casting director is someone who buys the talent, if you will. An agent is one who sells to the casting director their clients for consideration for the role. And that takes a lot of selectivity. So we're dealing with agents whose taste we admire and respect, and we have to bring in people who we think are right for the parts for various and sundry executives. And a lot of people don't understand that. They think that casting directors are the ones who say yay or nay all the time to the final choice, and that is not the case.
So your definition, one more time, of a casting director and a working actor.
A casting director is part psychologist, personnel director, matchmaker, and
mother and
father and prophet and so forth. And a working actor, Lynn, is
a person who manages to be working, not necessarily a star, but who can make a living working from morning till night, from January through December, and doesn't wait on tables.
How about extras? Extras who play...
That's working.
That's
a working
If they're in a
actor.
crowd scene, they're a working...
That's working. That's getting a resume. That's
Right.
becoming more and more professional every day.
But I mean, could somebody who plays an extra in a crowd scene ever become a star?
Constantly.
Really?
There are stars on soap operas and in the movies.
Right. Vivian, what goes through your mind? My subject, Vivian Blaine, is how to be a working actor. We're chatting with Mary Lynn Henry and Lynn Rogers, and I still got the feeling that that it's going to put a lot of people in the mood to be in a business where there's no work anyhow. It's a rough game. I think I don't mean to be the devil's advocate, but I got that feeling you're going to encourage a lot of people who shouldn't be encouraged.
Well, I go back to a picture called A Star Is Born.
Right.
And the casting director, or whoever that lady was, when Janet Gaynor first walked in to her office, and she said, take a look at all of these. These are the people who are not, and I mean, it was a brochure that was just this high, and she said, the statistics are 1 out of whatever. And Janet Gaynor, regardless of what was said to her, just turned around and said, but I may be that one. Exactly. And there it is.
And we quote Ruth Gordon, who said,
Yes, I never got a job I didn't make myself. And I think that's the other thing that I think many actors do forget, is that you don't have to be passive. You don't have to sit around waiting for the phone to ring. You can create your own vehicle and get yourself seen. And my goodness, Hal Holbrook, I think, is a perfect example
Yes.
of that.
Oh, yes.
You know, without Mark Twain, he made that. He
So
did
if you're
that.
really, really good, let's say, ladies, and you never get discouraged, and you really keep at it, and you're persistent, do you maintain that eventually you will make it in show
yes,
business?
I think
you
so.
will.
Really?
I don't think talent will be ignored if the talent is persistent and works at it every single day. It's laziness, I think, that is a horrible problem in this industry. I find it myself every day when I'm auditioning actors who just aren't prepared, who can't analyze a script properly. That's the biggest problem. You know, when you were in this business, in the movie industry, you had to work at your craft every day.
That's true, but that's a different kind of thing. It's strictly a director's medium because no matter what you do, you might wind up on the cutting room floor. Some of your best stuff might. But I think we're talking now mainly about theater and
we're
about...
talking theater, soap opera, anything that is work for an actor.
Yes.
But even in between jobs in the movie industry, you had to keep
Oh, there's no question about it. Yes.
Applying yourself.
But I still want to ask Miss Rogers and Miss Henry, and not to be so gloomy, you know, but when does it become heartbreaking enough and let's say distressing enough and somebody's hitting the head against the wall enough that they should just get out of it and consider a different field?
That's a personal thing.
Really? It's a
But,
personal
you know, we tell people in the book that it's not necessary to come to New York or Los Angeles to be a working actor. There is an enormous amount of opportunity in places like Chicago, Dallas, Des Moines, wherever you are. So before you pack up and save all that money, perhaps find out, are you making the most of the opportunities where you are? That will save you a lot of heartache, possibly.
Have you as yet, Miss Blaine, done a soap opera? You got any ambition to do a soap opera?
No, the closest... Yes, I'd love to do a soap. Are you listening?
We're sitting alongside a very powerful young lady who works on soap opera.
I think the closest I came was Mary Hartman, a few years back, out in California. But no, I've never done what I would call an actual soap, and I would love it. I really would.
Do you talk to a lot of people, Miss Mary Lee Henry, about...
Mary Lynn. Just call me Mary
Mary
Lynn.
Lynn.
Oh, please.
M-A-R-I.
Capital L-Y-N.
Right, and then Henry as in O. Henry. Do you talk to many people all day and all night that come toward you?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And all the actors who want to do soap opera, every day lots of pictures come my way. And with all of our casting directors at the soaps, agents are calling us constantly about people who want to work on soap opera. It's a fabulous medium to work on.
I think the important thing is to be lucky, too. To know you is good, but to be lucky. They always say that luck has... You think of luck...
Well, luck we define as preparation married to opportunity.
Right.
Be ready when the break comes. Don't just think that because you happen to be pretty and standing in the right spot at the right time and getting this huge offer that will continue. If you don't have any foundation, if you're not well trained, eventually people will discover that fact.
How much money should one have prior to coming to New York?
Enough to live here for 7 months without worrying. We include in the book a complete table of expenses both for New York and for Los Angeles.
Really?
And, you know, you see, what does it cost to rent an apartment in a safe neighborhood? What does it cost to get your pictures made, your answering service? Total all those expenses, multiply by 7, and that's how much money you need, because we say it's hard enough to get a job. If you're worried about paying the rent and is this check going to bounce, and you know, that's too much of a load for anyone. So give yourself an opportunity to succeed.
How to succeed in show business and be a working actor. And I'm sitting here with Vivian Blaine, who's one of my very favorite actresses and singers. Now, I got to tell you, a young fellow watches every night, going to be with us soon, by the way, named Perry Como. Oh. And when I turn on my TV set late at night, I see movies starring Perry Como and Vivian Blaine. And if you got any reminiscences or anything you want to say to Perry, you know, this is a very personalized medium. Now, what do you want to say to a young swooner crooner named Perry?
You still shake your head when you sing. Because Fox had great plans, and not that he needed to work for 20th Century Fox, but we did 4 films together, and they finally gave up because he would sit at the piano, and you know, when the camera is here, this can be a little bit disconcerting. And so they just finally said, I'm sorry, but that's it. But I found him charming, wonderful, a lot of fun. A great, great deal of fun. And he really deserves the success. And he looks wonderful, and he's singing better than ever.
Better than ever.
Yes.
They say he's the highest priced attraction in the history of Las Vegas, more than any other performer, Perry Como, more than anybody you would imagine, more than anybody. So he must be popular.
Amazing. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Dolls when I was a baby. Did you really?
I did. I remember hitchhiking down from New Haven to see it. It was fantastic.
You know why I ask Vivian just another minute before I do an intermission and bring in the charming lady? Because Tempest, Fugits, and Time Flies, and young people don't even know the name Damon Runyon. How about 30 seconds on what that man meant, and maybe some of the colorful characters that were seen with you on that stage?
Well, I think one of the things is that basically we all have a little Runyon-esque to us.
Right.
And that's why people identify with all of the characters. I know that I must have some of Adelaide in me. I know Sam Levine was definitely a Nathan Detroit.
Right.
And Bob was a high roller.
Robert Alder?
Yes.
Right.
And it's a fairy tale with characters that have always existed, always will exist. And
did Alan Alda ever hang around the set when his pop was in that show? Or
oh yes.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh, I met Alan when he was 16.
16. Yeah. Did you get friendly at all with Frank Lesser?
Oh, he was a doll.
He
was a doll.
What a song.
Just a wonderful, wonderful guy.
But Guys and Dolls was the perfect.
I think so.
Even without the score, even without the music, would have been a great.
Absolutely, it's a great book.
Great book.
Yeah.
We're talking about a great book here published by Evans.
Yes.
I wrote a book for them once called A Gift for People. It was in the third printing already because the first and second printings were blurred. I'm on. My book was on the 19-cent shelf the same day it came out. Talk about remainder.
It happens to the best of us.
This one is going to be a big seller for a long time, and the big party.
No, this is wonderful.
It's
this
a great
is
book.
absolutely wonderful.
And the big, we got a lot of show today. The big party is only just tomorrow by the. Everybody is saying bravo to this long, needed, and very candid investigation of show business by Mary Lynn Henry and Lynn Rogers. And I want to ask Candace Early. First, I want to tell you, I want to show some Vivian Blaine pictures in about 30 seconds and get some flash reaction. But I got to ask you, this lady is watched every day by tens of millions of soap opera people that are addicted to the life and times and troubles of Candace Early. Candace, just want to ask you, do you wish you had this book when you came to New York?
Oh, where was this? Why didn't you write this 15 years ago? Do you know, they don't teach you in college or acting school or music school about the business of the business, and there is so much in this book. Just thumbing through it, I see, as you were talking, Lynn, about the money you need for 7 months or more for some of us. You don't know that when you first come out of acting school or college, and it's wonderful to have these things at your fingertips.
You know, when this lady walked in the studio a few minutes ago, everybody says, I know her from all my children. I would love to ask you what I've always wanted to ask somebody like you. Well, anything on the loyalty or the faithfulness of fans, the inquisitiveness of fans, and the persistence of fans, and maybe they want to grab your dress or something more intimate. You know, anything that people like to hear about how the fans react to their soap opera.
The best and the most loyal in soap opera. I think the viewers will follow an actor from one show to another because they connect with the actor. I happen to love my character on All My Children, and I would hope that I've established a rapport with the audience where, oh, I shouldn't say this in the presence of Mary Lynn Henry.
Yes, you should. Go ahead, feel free.
That if I went, say, to One Life to Live, which is another ABC show, that they would follow me there and watch that show.
But you're happy with what you do?
Very.
Because I've read about soap opera stars that feel that they're typecast and stereotyped and they can't wait to get out of it. Then they try for a more so-called, in quotes, serious acting career, and it flops, and later on they wish they could get back into soap operas. Is that part of a possible cycle?
For me, it's not. I've heard that from several actors. I'm not an extremely ambitious person. I'm afraid I fall into the category that Mary Lynn was talking about before, the lazy people.
I love that. You do not fall into that category, Candace.
I am working. I'm lucky enough to be
working all the time and in many areas.
But I truly think if it had been extremely difficult for me, I might not have made it. I was very, very fortunate in all areas of my career to start working.
You know what I read about this young lady in the back of TV Shopper? That Candace Early's ambition when it's all over. Well, we're going to talk about Candace's current activities and juggling many careers, but her ambition when it's all over is to be a local talk show host, right? Is that what it says here?
I'm not sure I would be any good at it, but I'd love to try it. I intend to move back to Lawton, Oklahoma.
And be a local talk show host.
Well, if
I want you to audition. Have fun right now. What do you want to, before I show my Vivian Blaine pictures, what do you want to say of a very charming and charismatic, or ask of Vivian Blaine? What's your feeling right now, Candace?
I'd like to know from you, if you know which character or characters in the Damon Runyon series was your character Adelaide based upon?
Great question.
There were several characters in Damon Runyon, I know that.
They were. I really don't know. I asked several people, and they when we were doing the show, and I was told that she was a composite of several of his ladies. so
Which
to
you made
speak.
your own.
Hopefully.
Wonderful.
Yes.
When I
Do besides wait on tables while they're waiting for the break?
One of the things that we found was that people who have any kind of creativity have other things they can do to make a living, such as floral arrangements, graphic design, what was it? Jewelry making.
Those T-shirts.
T-shirt. I got a beautiful shirt from a girl in California that was hand painted. It was made out of something like sweatshirt material, except gorgeous colors. And she gets a lot of money for each one, and she can do them while watching her favorite soap operas, which happen to be on ABC. and she has a mail order business. A lot of people can do things other than waiting on tables. I mean, you see them at flea markets selling their wares, teaching, using the skills that they have. Candy, could you have taught singing? Could you have been a
If you
voice
thought of
teacher
it.
if you
It's
thought about
possible,
it?
surely.
Because you've got that skill, and I mean, you know, you're so
Surely.
wonderful at it. People who are into aerobics, for instance, aerobicize, can do that. They can make their own hours. This is the important thing, Joe.
I have a friend who was a carpenter until he got his break.
Really?
Exactly.
And does that for therapy now.
So summarizing, Miss Rogers, besides waiting on tables, we can do such things as...
You can be a skilled craftsman, you can be an illustrator, you can be a professional at whatever you do, and I think that discipline carries over.
And
That's the
it
great thing
also
of it.
keeps your level of encouragement
Yeah.
up, that you can do something for which you get paid until you do the thing you
And
really
you're
love
using those
to get paid
creative
for it.
juices,
Mhm.
you know, the same thing. Rather than, I think waiting tables is very, very
Could be demoralizing.
innovating. You get tired.
Well, everybody
That's
here
why
is
I was clumsy.
meant to be served, not to serve, right?
That's right. That's right.
Let me ask you, before we talk about the extra activities of Candy, even though your work is
Candy?
fun, it's got to be exhausting. I mean, it's a rigorous schedule, as they say, to do a daily soap opera, right? That's
I think the worst of it, and this is so minimal, it should be a crime that I say worst, there's a little bit of tedium involved. We get into the studio at 7:30 in the morning, and we leave somewhere between 7 and eternity at night.
20 hours sometimes, right?
Sometimes, yes. My most emotional work was done at 2:30 one morning. They were burning down the nightclub where my character sang and killing her baby from smoke inhalation. That went on till 3:45 one morning, and at 2:30 I realized that the baby was inside and started screaming and wrenching myself. But it's also very exciting, rewarding work.
Many brilliant leading men, but if you had to choose maybe one that you haven't yet done a scene or a movie or a Broadway play with?
Unfortunately, he's gone.
Really?
Paul Muni.
Ah, what a man.
I just have always been mad for that man.
Really?
Yes.
What do you say, Miss Rogers and Miss Henry? Is that a good choice?
Oh, I think that's an
Not a
excellent
bad
choice. But I thought of myself as what, and you didn't even ask me that.
That's next. That's next. Besides Joe
Thank
Franklin.
you.
Maybe, yeah.
Besides you, I think Jack Nicholson would be my
Oh, yes.
first
Oh,
vote.
How about Woody Allen? Maybe.
I'd like to be in one of his pictures.
Right. Miss Rogers, Lynn Rogers?
Well, I was thinking I would love to play opposite Michael Caine.
He's tremendous.
I think, yeah, he could do nothing
He could do so many
wrong.
different things, too.
So let's invite them, shall we?
We'll do it. Now,
I
mean,
get
yeah.
to play opposite one of my favorites very soon,
Who's that?
however, Robert Goulet.
In the show called?
South Pacific. I start touring with it on the 12th of August, the day after my nightclub act
Candy, how do you
closes.
work all this in? They write a part in the script where you're home having a baby or something?
Or in a coma, or wandering around
Off to
lost
Iran.
somewhere. Yes.
I've only watched a few soap operas in my life, little bits, and every time when I watch somebody's about to get married, because they figure that their former spouse is dead, but the
Yes.
former spouse always reappears
Shows up at the wedding.
on the wedding day. Why is that they always... That's
Ratings.
ratings, right? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to add to the panel. Oh, and in a minute, I want to show some nostalgia based on Down. So the lady opposite me, Miss Mary Lynn Henry, is got. What's the look? Is it that fresh Midwestern look that you would look for when you're? Is that part of the success of Candace? Her look, right?
Is she the girl next door?
Yes.
Absolutely. I think she's beautiful. She's got the most gorgeous skin and coloring, And, you know, she has no regionalism in her voice, even though she's from Oklahoma. You got rid of it. Or did you ever have it?
My mother said if I ever hear you say pencil, you go off to boarding school. What more inspiration did I need?
That's it.
And a virtually unknown phenomenon among performers, the fact that this lady named Candace has never for one moment experienced the pangs of unemployment. Which
I must say for your younger viewers
Yes.
that don't listen to me. It doesn't happen like that. This book, How to Be a Working Actor, it really tells it like it is, because I'm one of the very, very few who have been that lucky.
and that gifted. But have we established, Mary Lynn, who should and who should not set forth in quest of an acting career? There's got to be some who just shouldn't even. I mean, they could read the book, but still not think about it, right?
You know what? That's true. It's very hard to say that, Joe, about anybody. It's just like saying to somebody, oh, get out of the business, kid, you'll never make it. And then several years later, they win an Oscar.
Yes.
I mean, it's the individual's desire and dedication and discipline. And there can be people we see up there who we don't feel are terribly talented, but millions of people think so. So what are we going to say?
That's right. Can't knock success.
No.
To go, and now I can drive. I'll rent a car in New York and drive out.
We would welcome you there.
I would love
thank
to ask Miss Mary Lynn Henry and Miss Lynn Rogers if you were casting somebody or submitting somebody to play a restaurant greeter and owner. Is this man, is he the type? Is he the right type for a...
Oh, yes.
Really?
He's very distinguished. But I think I'd make him a tycoon.
Which he is.
A tycoon from
With
some
a dark
exotic
past.
place like Argentina.
Oh, Argentina?
Definitely.
You know, we forgot about your plaque.
I'm
This is a more important plaque.
I'm very modest.
A more important, every plaque is.
I'm going to melt down all the gold from all the to be a rich man someday.
How many plaques you have?
Right. About over 1,500
Yeah.
plaques, right.
Goodness.
Wow.
The Clam Broth House welcomes their favorite TV host, Joe Franklin, to his new home in New Jersey, July 1986, and I'm very, very honored. You want to do me a favor, you two ladies? In about 1 minute, tell our friends what it's like to be on the set of a soap opera, okay? That would be exciting to a lot of people following a brief intermission. And stay on the audio, because when you're here, I could feel that lobster sort of drifting in. We shall return following the station break. Stay with us. So, Miss Mary Lynn, rather than battling the incredible odds, let's say the odds of Hollywood or New York, you think some people should maybe settle for some small local theater group and settle there?
Yes.
Really?
I have many, many friends who are very, very successful actors in regional theaters. They've raised families, they've done commercials, they've been in feature films. They can make a living, they can be happy without all the pressure of New York or Los Angeles. And it's becoming so decentralized now that casting directors are going all across the country
great.
looking for talent.
You said the word family. How about a word for the families or the parents of talented children, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old?
Well, this is a very important issue to both of us because I have received so many requests from parents about what should they do. Their child is 12 years old and wants desperately to be in show business, wants to be like Candace Early, wants to be like Vivian Blaine. What can they do? And I say get them going in acting classes, singing classes, dancing classes, community theater, teen theater productions, anything in your local area first.
You agree, Miss Lynn Rogers?
Absolutely. I mean, Danielle Brisbois started when she was 3 years
Started
old.
with me, then she became a big, yeah, sure.
She's my protege.
You
know,
ask her. She
Danielle.
was my anchor lady when she was 3 years old.
And she could have been.
Beginning.
She was that bright.
Say it again?
She was that bright.
That's very
and
bright.
she was that gifted.
Very smart, really.
At an early age.
Then she went on with the program All in the Family, right?
All in the Family, but Annie first on
Annie first on
Broadway,
Broadway, right.
and she had a birthday party at Mr. Pelez's Clam House, by
Really?
the way, that I attended.
Danielle
I remember
Brisbois.
Roz Starr was. You remember that big birthday party for Danielle?
Yes,
I was there.
there. She used to go up there. I haven't seen her for a year now.
Well,
Candace,
she's in California.
Beginning actors out there who are now facing much hurt and much rejection. Got to give us one word on that big word, cope. Cope.
Yes, that's the word. But first, apropos
Yes.
of what Mary Lynn and Lynn were saying,
Right.
I say I was very fortunate and have been in my career, but also I did start taking dance, piano, voice lessons when I was 8 years old. and piano and dance didn't take, but I persisted and did every single musical comedy or every single community theater production I could get my hands on, whether backstage or on stage. But if you are new in the business and you're having a tough time breaking in and breaking through, as Mary Lynn and Lynn said, it's a personal decision. You have to decide whether or not you can handle being rejected for possibly years. Look at the worst side of it, and if you still believe in yourself, then go after it with everything you've got and continue to believe in yourself, and who knows, you could end up with an Academy Award.
Have you been on Broadway?
Yes.
I thought so. What show?
Did Grease and Jesus Christ Superstar and Hair.
Vivian, your summary on rejection and hurt and coping.
I don't think that the rejection ever really stops, because once you finish a project, that's it. And you just file it away, and then you start all over again. And so who knows whether you're going to be right for the next thing that you go up for.
Will you second that emotion, Miss Mary Lynn Henry?
I absolutely will. I think every experience is a new experience, and also what I feel a lot of actors do is so counterproductive when all they do is live on their past reviews. I think that's very dangerous. They've got to get out there and prove themselves all the time.
Most actors have the nightmare that once a show closes, you'll never work again.
Yeah.
And in a way, that's kind of good for you because it gets you out there in more auditions.
That insecurity gets you...
Yeah, if you don't let it get you down, you let it get you through.
Gets the blood flowing.
I don't know, does anyone ever get over stage fright?
I haven't.
No.
I haven't.
I never got nervous, never in my life. Never. This answers all your questions about job hunting, and I'm going to hunt for a job waiting on tables.
We've got it all.
Be right back to Wave. Let me ask Miss Early if she'll toodaloo for me.
Joe Franklin Show, good night.
And stay well in daytime or nighttime. Always watch us. I want to reassemble the same cast every 1,000 years. You promise?
We'll be there.
We'd love it.
Good morning.
Joining us now live in our New York studio is Mary Lynn Henry, Director of Daytime Television Casting at ABC TV and the author of the book, How to Be a Working Actor. And with 85% of the acting profession out of work at any given time, I'm sure they're going to hang on every word. What are the secrets?
Well, we try to outline as many secrets as we can, and that is to have a lot of money when you come to New York or go to Los Angeles. Financial preparation is important as much as talent and training is, so you can budget yourself and get as much time to spend on your career.
Is there a trick, Mary Lynn, to auditioning? Some people seem to work constantly. Others who, when they do work, display as much talent, very rarely get jobs.
I think there's a lot of work that one can do to give the proper audition. I think a lot of people don't know how to prepare an audition. In our book, we give a whole long chapter on the audition process and what it takes, and script analysis and everything you have to know before that moment comes in the scene. I think there's a lot of laziness out there. We want them to be trained, and we want them to do their homework.
In your other hat, as a casting director, when people come in to see you, can you tell immediately if they know what they're about and have a shot at the job, or does it take a while?
No, I know almost immediately, just from the interview, from the handshake, Lee. I mean, sometimes I get a cold, clammy hand, and sometimes I get a limp wrist, and sometimes I get a firm hand that says, I'm here and I'm ready to do the job.
But how about a cold, clammy hand and a limp wrist and a whole lot of talent behind it?
It's sometimes too nervous to come through. You have to see it on stage, not in the office.
Now, are there things that people can do as far as their resume and having video and so forth to help them get jobs?
Yes, we have a whole chapter on the picture and the resume. We call it the tools of the trade, and there is certainly an outline kind of presentation they can do on the resume. And a lot of kids say, well, what do I do? I'm just in college. And we say, look, put the representative roles that you've done on the resume. The picture should be beautiful. It should look like you. It shouldn't be overdone with makeup. It shouldn't be anything distracting from the face. Your hair should be coiffed and neat. And it should have a smile on it so that you come in, the picture comes to me first, let me put it that way, and it says, hi, I'm Jane Smith, I'm looking for a job.
And you're going to get one if you do it right, huh?
That's right.
Okay, Mary Lynn, thank you very much for being with us today.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And for all you actors out there, good luck next time. Liz and I will return after these. Out of work at any given time, I'm sure they're going to hang on every word. What are the secrets?
Well, we try to outline as many secrets as we can, and that is to have a lot of money when you come to New York or go to Los Angeles. Financial preparation is important as much as talent and training is, so you can budget yourself and get as much time to spend on your career.
Is there a trick, Mary Lynn, to auditioning? Some people seem to work constantly. Others who, when they do work, display as much talent, very rarely get jobs.
I think there's a lot of work that one can do to give the proper audition. I think a lot of people don't know how to prepare an audition. In our book, we give a whole long chapter on the audition process and what it takes, and script analysis and everything you have to know before that moment comes in the scene. I think there's a lot of laziness out there. We want them to be trained and we want them to do their homework.
In your other hat, as a casting director, when people come in to see you, can you tell immediately if they know what they're about and have a shot at the job, or does it take a while?
No, I know almost immediately, just from the interview, from the handshake, Lee. I mean, sometimes I get a cold, clammy hand, and sometimes I get a limp wrist, and sometimes I get a firm hand that says, I'm here and I'm ready to do the job.
But how about a cold, clammy hand and a limp wrist and a whole lot of talent behind it?
It's sometimes too nervous to come through. You have to see it on stage, not in the office.
Now, are there things that people can do as far as their resume and having video and so forth to help them get jobs?
Yes, we have a whole chapter on the picture and the resume. We call it the tools of the trade, and there is certainly an outline kind of presentation they can do on the resume. And a lot of kids say, well, what do I do? I'm just in college. And we say, look, put the representative roles that you've done on the resume. The picture should be beautiful. It should look like you. It shouldn't be overdone with makeup. It shouldn't be anything distracting from the face. Your hair should be coiffed and neat, and it should have a smile on it so that you come in, the picture comes to me first, let me put it that way, and it says, hi, I'm Jane Smith, I'm looking for a job.
And you're going to get one if you do it right, huh?
That's right.
Okay, Mary Lynn, thank you very much for being with us today.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And for all you actors out there, good luck next time. Liz and I will return after these messages.